petition to the Public Petitions Committee for consideration pursuant to Standing Order 208A. The committee is required to consider the petition and report its findings to the House and to the petitioner in accordance with the Standing Order 2272. I thank you. Next.
Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable
Majority
Speaker.
Leader.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 10th March 2026. A. The legal notice number 197 of 2025 relating to the capital markets licensing requirements general regulations 2025, the explanatory memorandum, regulatory impact statement, and evidence of stakeholders' engagement from the National Treasury and Economic Planning. B. The legal notice number 3 of 2026 relating to the mining, mineral royalty sharing regulations 2026, the report of stakeholders consultation on the Mining Act regulations, and the explanatory memorandum from the Ministry of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs. And C, reports of the Auditor General and financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2025 and certificates therein in respect of 1. Agricultural Information Resource Center Revolving Fund, State Department for Agriculture. 2. Agrochemical and Food Company Limited. 3. Baringo National Polytechnic. 4. Bondo Technical Training Institute. 5. Bumbe Technical Training Institute. 6. Bura Rehabilitation Development Project Credit Number Badea 0595. Kuwait 752 OPEC 1154P National Irrigation Authority. 7. Bushiangala Technical Training Institution. 8. Chemelil Sugar Company Limited. 9. Communications Authority Universal Services Fund. 10. Digital Health Agency. 11. Ebukanga Technical and Vocational College. 12. E-Citizen Revenue Accountability Statement, the National Treasury. 13. Executive Office of the President. 14. Financial Statements of State Department for Sports. 15. Gulf Hotel Limited. 16. Government Press Fund. 17. Heroes Technical and Vocational College. 18. Human Resource Management Professional Examinations Board. 19. Hydrologist Registration Board. 20. Infrastructure and Public-Private Partnership Project, IDA, credit number 5157 KE, the National Treasury. 21. Kajiado East Technical and Vocational College. 22. Kajiado West Technical and Vocational College. 23. Kaloleni Technical and Vocational College. 24. Kenya Dairy Board Staff Mortgage Scheme. 25. Kenya Health Inspectorate Services Mortgage Fund. 26. Kenya Health Professions Oversight Authority. 27. Kenya National Congress. 28. Kenya Nuclear Regulatory Authority. 29. Kenya Revenue Authority Staff Mortgage and Car Scheme. 30. Kenya Revenue Authority. 31. Kenya Water Institute. 32. Kiptaragon Technical and Vocational College. 33. Lake Basin Development Authority. 34. Lake Victoria North Water Works Development Agency. 35. Lake Victoria South Water Works Development Agency. 36. Machakos Technical Institute for the Blind. 37. Masai Technical Training Institute. 38. Masinde Muliro University for Science and Technology. 39. Media Council of Kenya. 40. Migori Teachers Training College. 41. Miwani Sugar Company 1989 Limited in receivership. 42. Moi Teachers Training College, Baringo. 43. Mohoroni Sugar Company Limited in receivership. 44. Mwea Irrigation Development Project, loan agreement number KE P27. 45. Narok South Technical and Vocational College. 46. National Biosafety Car Loan and Mortgage Fund. 47. National livestock development and promotion services for the 6 months period, State Department for Livestock Development. 48, National Peace Support Operations Fund. 49, National Police Service Commission House Mortgage Scheme. And 50, Honorable Speaker, the National Security Telecommunications Services. I beg to lay, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning. Shuria, you are holding brief? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 10th March 2026. Joint report of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning and Public Debt and Privatization Committee on the consideration of the sessional paper number 3 of 2025 on the partial divestiture in Safaricom PLC by the Government of Kenya.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations. Nelson.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 10th, 2026. The report of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations on the approval hearing of Mr. Kosiam Frank Awole Kibele Kenya as nominee for appointment as ambassador to Copenhagen, the Kingdom of Denmark.
Chairperson, Budget and Appropriations Committee. Atandi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 10th March 2026. A report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on its consideration of the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026. Thank you.
Next order. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, Shuria.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the joint report of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning and the Public Debt and Privatization Committee on the consideration of sessional paper number 3 of 2025 on the partial divestiture in Safaricom PLC by the Government of Kenya, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 10th March 2026, and approves sessional paper number 3 of 2025 on the partial divestiture in Safaricom PLC by the Government of Kenya, and 1, resolves that, pursuant to the provisions of Section 87A of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412A, the House approves the sessional paper number 3 of 2025 on the partial divestiture of Safaricom PLC by the Government of Kenya, and 2, further resolves as follows. Effective date. 1, that the effective date for the approval shall be 1st April 2026 or such later date when all regulatory approvals that form condition precedents of Section 4.1 of the share purchase agreement shall have been completion upon obtaining all regulatory approvals. 2, that the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury shall, upon obtaining all regulatory approvals in line with condition precedents in paragraph 4.1 of the share purchase agreement, undertake and complete the transaction through the block trade platform of the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Upfront payments to be made in lieu of future dividends. That the Government of Kenya shall receive Kenya shillings 40 billion and 200 million, that is 40.2 billion, as upfront payment in lieu of future dividends on the residual 20% shareholding as per the dividend purchase agreement. Proceeds to be paid into the National Infrastructure Fund. That, notwithstanding anything contained on the share purchase agreement and the dividend purchase agreement, the proceeds of the divestiture shall be paid into the National Infrastructure Fund. No redundancy of existing staff. That, to safeguard against loss of jobs for existing staff, there shall be no acquisition-related redundancies in Safaricom PLC. And preserve the existing business model with Safaricom PLC dealers, agents, and other business partners. That the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury shall ensure that within 10 years of the divestiture, there shall be no material change to the current shared prosperity business model in Safaricom PLC that would prejudice the existing Safaricom PLC dealers, agents, and other business partners. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, and Foreign Relations.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is to give a notice of motion on the approval hearing of a nominee for appointment as the Honorable Speaker. Sorry, Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion that, taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, and Foreign Relations in its report on the approval hearing of a nominee for appointment as Ambassador to Copenhagen, Kingdom of Denmark, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 10th March 2026, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 132E of the Constitution and Section 22 of the Foreign Service Act, Cap 185E, and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments, that is Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F. This House approves the appointment of Mr. Koisiom Frank Ole Kibele Kenya as the Ambassador of Copenhagen, Kingdom of Denmark.
Thank you. Before we call the next order, allow me, members, to acknowledge the following institutions in the House. In the Speaker's Gallery, Gitare Mixed Secondary School from Runyenjes, Embu, Machakos Boys School from Machakos Town, Machakos, St. Benedict Ikuda Boys from Kitui South, Kitui. In the Public Gallery, Ngwata Primary and JSS from Mavoko, Machakos, Kirangari Boys High School from Kabete, Kiambu, Kianyaga High School from Gishugu, Kirinyaga. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to the House of Parliament. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable members, we'll go to statements. Raila Kasiwai, I saw a letter she was nominating somebody to request for the statement. Was she nominating Moroto? Clerk, do you have that letter? There was a member from West Pokot nominated by Raila Kasiwai. Not here. We stay the statement. Samuel Moroto. I think the letter covered Moroto as well. They said they were away on some urgent matter. We'll stay the two statements to Thursday afternoon. Tandaza Kazim, member for Matuga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44 2C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, and Foreign Relations regarding the blockage of the bank account of Ms. Musawe Suleiman Mambo, a Kenyan national, by the Al Raj Bank in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Honorable Speaker, Ms. Musawe Suleiman Mambo, passport number AK004 ending with 69, has been living and working in Saudi Arabia for the 2 years, in which period she opened and operated a bank account with the Al Raj Bank. On 7 September 2025, while at the airport in Saudi Arabia for her flight back to Kenya, she was able to access her bank account and transact without difficulty. However, on her arrival in Kenya on 8 September 2025, she has been unsuccessful in reaching the bank, which remains unresponsive, and no reasons have been given for blocking access to her account. The account holds her savings accumulated during her period of employment in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It is unfortunate
Yes,
that...
order, Tandaza. Yes,
Yes.
Wangwe, what's the point of order?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I don't intend to disrupt my very good friend, the engineer, but this House being a House guided by your own guidelines, according to your own judgment, Honorable Speaker, is the member properly dressed to address the floor?
Which member?
The one speaking, Honorable Speaker.
Tandaza.
Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes,
I'm in my official kanzu, and as a Muslim, this is the way I'm supposed to dress, and on top I have, so I can't put a tie on a kanzu. I think it's just far from
You
where
are in
I
a
am.
kanzu.
For sure.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Wangwe is used to seeing only white kanzus.
No.
Yes.
A kanzu doesn't have to be white, Honorable Speaker. Will I start or proceed now with this interruption from Honorable Wangwe? Okay.
Proceed where you stopped, you left.
It is unfortunate that with her life savings locked and inaccessible, she is now unable to afford basic amenities, further exacerbating the economic challenges that she faces in settling back in Kenya. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations on the following. 1. The steps taken by the Kenyan embassy in Saudi Arabia in collaboration with the relevant Saudi Arabian authorities, to facilitate the restoration of Ms. Msawe Suleiman's access to the bank account to allow utilization of our funds, and 2, the measures put in place to strengthen consular support for Kenyans working in the Gulf region, including assistance in financial disputes, documentation, challenges, and other forms of distress. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Nelson Koech, when can you bring a response to that?
As soon as possible, even tomorrow, Honorable Speaker. Just guide on...
Tomorrow afternoon?
Yes, I'll bring it tomorrow
Excellent.
afternoon.
Your colleagues should work like that. Did you have prior knowledge that there was such a statement coming?
Honorable Speaker, this is the second time.
Give Tandaza, yes, Tandaza?
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I read this question before we went for recess last time, and from the table office, the answer has not been there. So I believe you could be having it somewhere, and therefore provide it.
Nelson Koech, tomorrow afternoon. Thank you. John Makali, I'm informed the member is away in his constituents on an urgent matter. Doris Donya. Doris Donya, go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining regarding the persistent discharge of raw sewage into public spaces during rainy seasons. Honorable Speaker, it is unfortunate that there is a recurrent phenomenon where during heavy rainfall, raw sewage often overflows onto roads, residential estates, marketplaces, and other public areas. This poses grave public health dangers, including the risk of waterborne diseases such as cholera and typhoid, compromises environmental integrity, contaminates water sources, and infringes on the dignity, safety, and right of our citizens to a clean and healthy environment. This situation not only reflects existing systemic deficiencies in our sewer infrastructure, but also raises serious concerns regarding planning, maintenance, regulatory oversight, and compliance enforcement by relevant authorities and other water and sanitation services providers. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining on the following. A report on the underlying causes of the recurrent sewer overflows experienced during rainy seasons in urban and pre-urban areas, including an assessment of the condition and capacity of existing sewer infrastructure and the immediate remedial interventions being undertaken to contain the current health and environmental risks, including emergency response and mechanisms, public health safeguards and accountability measures against negligent sewerage service providers. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now that, Mr. Speaker, you are engaging.
Thank you, Honorable Donya. Chair, Environment, Forest and Mining. Owen, who is the chair? Yes, Women Rep Kericho. Beatrice.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And from what she said, it is something serious, so please give us 2 weeks. I'll talk to the chair. Committee? Yeah, I'm a member of the committee.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yes, Donya. Give Donya the...
You see, Mr. Speaker, the rains are causing havoc. It's not that they are going to get the response from Japan or Ethiopia. It is just within. I think 1 week or even 2 days, Mr. Speaker, is enough. Serious issues must be taken seriously. They should even responded to within a day.
Beatrice Kemei, can your chair or yourself bring a response on Thursday afternoon?
Maybe next week, Chair, and Speaker, next week on Tuesday.
Tuesday will be on recess.
You know, Speaker, it is not one area, it is the whole country. So allow the chair to do it next week.
Recess.
Conduct your line ministry and bring a response, or at least a preliminary response on Thursday afternoon. Amos Mwago.
Thank you.
For Stare.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands regarding delayed issuance of a provisional certificate of title deed to Ms. Salamat Bibi Sheikh of ID number 10224231. Honorable Speaker, Mrs. Salamat Bibi Sheikh is the administrator of the estate of the late Remat Ali Sheikh, Nur Muhammad Sheikh, Hussein Bibi Sheikh, and Abdul Rashid Sheikh. Consequently, she is a registered proprietor of land reference number 209/605, comprised in grant number IR 19333, situated along Melili Road, South B Estate in Nairobi City County. In 2020, Ms. Sheikh discovered that the original certificate of title for the said property had been misplaced or lost. Despite making extensive efforts to trace the document, her attempts were unsuccessful. She immediately applied to the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing, and Urban Development for the issuance of a provisional certificate of title deed. However, to her dismay, she was informed that even the provisional certificate of title deed was missing from the registry, and up to date, she is yet to be issued with a copy of this document. Honorable Speaker, it is deeply concerning that such a crucial document could be misplaced within the custody of the ministry. This prolonged delay has subjected Mrs. Sheikh to financial distress, as she has been unable to use the title as collateral for financing or to transact with the property in any meaningful way. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands on the following. 1. The circumstances surrounding the disappearance of the provisional certificate of title deed land reference number 209/3605 while under the custody of the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, and an indication of whether any efforts have been made to reconstruct the missing file. 2, specific timelines within which Mrs. Salamat Bibi Sheikh will be issued with the provisional certificate of title deed. 3, safeguards in place to secure the said land from potential irregular transfers pending reconstruction of the file and issuance of the provisional certificate of title. And 4, the measures put in place by the ministry to ensure digitization and secure preservation of land records within its custody to guarantee ease of access and prevent similar occurrences in the future. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair Lands. Owen Bayer. I think I saw the Lands Committee in vetting meeting.
The chair for Lands sits somewhere here.
Chair Lands, can you instruct them to bring a response the first Wednesday after recess?
Okay. Much obliged, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Lochakapong. Kasiwai. Now that you are here, start with your own statement.
Yes, I'll do, Honorable Speaker.
Then Morotos, then Lochas.
I start with the one for Honorable Chakapong.
Start with your own.
Okay. Honorable Speaker, I rise to request for a statement regarding the status and jurisdiction of Aro Sub-County Administrative Unit. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 444-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the status and jurisdiction of Aro Sub-County Administrative Unit. Honorable Speaker, the Minister of Interior and National Administration, via Gazette Notice number 2969, dated 17th March 2022, it established administrative units as service delivery coordination units to enhance the functions of the national government. Among the 18 sub-counties created was Aro sub-county in Turkana County. However, there have since emerged concerns and disputes regarding the precise boundary between Turkana County and West Pokot County in Aro sub-county. This situation has led to uncertainty among residents and contributed to challenges in coordination of security operations, delivering of public services, land administrative processes, and general communal relations. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. Number 1, clarification on the officially recognized boundary between Turkana County and West Pokot County, particularly in relation to Aro sub-county. 2, the measures being taken by the ministry to ensure seamless coordination in matters of security operations, service delivery, and administrative oversight in Aro sub-county. And lastly, I want to know the steps being taken to safeguard land rights, prevent boundary-related conflicts, and promote social stability among communities residing in Aro sub-county. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. On behalf
Hold on, Kasiwai. Chair, Internal Security, Tongoyo, when can you bring a response?
Can do on Wednesday, or it's on once we resume from recess.
The first Wednesday?
The first Wednesday, Speaker.
Thank you. Samuel Moroto, Kasiwai.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy.
Put it on record that on behalf of Samuel Moroto, it's not your statement.
Thank you. On behalf of Samuel Moroto, the member for Kapenguria constituency, I rise to request for a statement regarding the implementation of the Takwe Lokichar Water and Irrigation Project under the South Lokichar Field Development Plan. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation regarding the implementation of the Takwel Lokichar Water and Irrigation Project under the South Lokichar Field Development Plan. Honorable Speaker, the Takwel Dam, located in West Pokot County, is a critical enabler of the South Lokichar Field Development Plan as the source of water and power infrastructure required for oil extraction, as well as for irrigation and domestic supply to communities along the Takwel Lokichar corridor. The FDP indicates that the planned distribution of the benefits from the project between Turkana and West Pokot counties includes access to treated water and large-scale agricultural development. However, it is noted with concern that while the dam and the key water abstraction infrastructure are situated in West Pokot County, the bulk of the irrigation expansion allocated to Turkana County, while West Pokot County is allocated less acreage despite hosting the primary water source. This situation raises serious concerns regarding equity, fairness, and proportional benefit sharing in the utilization of the natural resource and benefits to local communities. It is expected that the Takwel Lokichar transmission system will convey water to designated centers and communities along the pipeline route with multiple off-take points to support domestic use. However, clarity is required regarding the full cost implications of the transmission pipelines, the specific beneficiary communities, and the criteria applied in allocating irrigation acreage and water infrastructure between the host counties. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on the following. Number one, a report on the cost estimates for the Takwel Lokichar transmission pipelines, including the criteria used in identifying the designated beneficiary communities. Two, a report detailing the specific communities in West Pokot County that will benefit from the treated water transmission system, including the number of off-take points and the volumetric allocation guaranteed to residents of West Pokot to support domestic use. And finally, the measures put in place by the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation to ensure West Pokot County, as the primary water source, receives its proportional share from the project in terms of irrigation acreage, water abstraction, and associated infrastructure development. And I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Chair, Blue Economy. Bowen, can you respond?
Mr. Speaker, I don't know if, because the Honorable Moroto is not here, this is something we discussed with the ministry, and even I have the answer straight away. It's only that the Honorable she's asking on behalf of Moroto, who is not in. But Speaker,
Kasiwai, when is Honorable Moroto going to be here? Are you ready to take the answer?
Honorable Speaker.
Yes. Okay, Bowen, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow afternoon.
Afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
In fact, we can load it to tomorrow morning. Kasiwai, you'll be here tomorrow morning on behalf of Honorable Moroto?
Yes, I will, Honorable Speaker.
Clerk, put that response to tomorrow morning. Kasiwai, on behalf of Lochakapong?
On behalf of Honorable Peter Lochakapong, the MP for Sigor constituency, I rise to ask or request for a statement regarding transport and road safety concerns arising from the operations of Simtech Limited in Sebit in West Pokot County. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding serious transport and road safety concerns linked to the operations of the Simtech Limited in Sebit, West Pokot County. Honorable Speaker, Simtech Limited is a cement manufacturing factory operating in West Pokot and officially Sebit area. Whereas the company serves as a key economic enabler in the region, heavy commercial trucks belonging to the company are allegedly driven carelessly, leading to frequent road accidents and near-miss incidences. The absence of adequate traffic control measures in the area has reportedly worsened the situation, thereby exposing residents and other road users to heightened risk. Honorable Speaker, it has further been reported that there are no designated truck parking or holding areas around the factory. Due to this, trucks are dangerously parked along public roads within Sebit area, causing traffic congestion, obstructing access routes, and increasing the livelihood of accidents. This uncontrolled parking has created serious danger to motorists, pedestrians, school children, and traders undertaking their daily activities within the town. Numerous complaints to the management of Simtech company and local authorities have borne no results. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on the following. 1, the action being taken by the ministry to investigate and address the resulting road safety concerns in and around Sebit. And 2, the reasons for the absence of designated truck parking or holding areas around the factory. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair Transport and Infrastructure, GK.
First Wednesday of next month, the Honorable Speaker will have the response.
Thank you. Jerry. Hold on, Jerry, before you make your request. Honorable members, allow me to acknowledge in the Speaker's Gallery, St. Anne's Girls Lioki, Kiambu Township, Kiambu, Sosit Girls from Bureti, Kericho in the public gallery, Karocho Secondary School from Tharaka Nithi. I've been requested by Honorable Komingoi. I'll give you a minute to welcome the school from your constituency and all the other students in the galleries. Give Komingoi the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to be able to welcome the beautiful girls that are both on the Speaker's gallery and the public gallery, and the other students that are here to see for themselves the discourse that is happening within the House of Parliament. My own behalf and on behalf of this House, Speaker, we want to tell the girls that they have the opportunity before them that they may be able to transform not only their lives, but the lives of their community they come from and the people they surround themselves with, that they may arm themselves with thoughts, ideas, and maybe messaging that they'll be able to send to the communities around them, and they may be able to know that within the presence of Parliament is the opportunity to be the national figures in this country. I wish them all the best as they study, wish them greater days ahead of them, and pray that the Lord will carry them along, even as they study and set themselves on stage to change, and not only to change, but also to transform their communities and their own lives for the betterment of our country. Honorable Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity and welcome the students to Bunge, and especially for the girls from Sosit, Bureti constituency. Most beautiful girls we have in a beautiful school, in a beautiful setting, and the future ahead of them is quite beautiful, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Komingoi. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to the House of Parliament. Kasheri.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education regarding the safety of learners at Kerugoya School for the Deaf. Honorable Speaker, on 2nd March 2026, a teacher at Kerugoya School for the Deaf was arrested following allegations of defilement of an 8-year-old female pupil at the institution. Alarmingly, it is further alleged that the said teacher is facing similar cases before a court of law. The matter has caused widespread anxiety among parents, guardians, and the public regarding the safeguards in place for students' safety in schools, especially in special learning institutions. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education on the following. 1, the circumstances surrounding the alleged incident at Kerugoya School for the Deaf, including the actions taken by the school administration and relevant authorities following the arrest of the teacher. 2, an explanation as to why the teacher was allowed to continue teaching at the special learning school while allegedly facing defilement charges before a court of law. 3, disciplinary actions, if any, taken against the school administration for the alleged failure to take appropriate action against the teacher, despite him having allegedly engaged in similar actions prior to this incident. And lastly, interventions being taken by the government to provide psychosocial support to the victims, their families, and to prevent the recurrence of similar incidents in learning institutions across our country. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Njeri. Chair Education. I thought I saw Melly walk in. Owen. When can you bring a response?
I think McClap is a member of the committee. Probably
McClap?
He could undertake on behalf of the chair.
Can you bring the response?
Yes.
The first Wednesday upon resumption from the short recess?
Much obliged, Mr. Speaker.
That will be on 1st of April.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
But the first, Mr. Speaker, is a fool's day, so...
Yes, but don't come to fool us.
I don't come with fool's answer.
Yes. It is a fool's day for fools out there, not in this house. Yes, Tungule, on the same?
No, it's
yes, you said you wanted to find out about a response to an earlier statement you requested. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the 15th of October last year, 2025, I requested for a statement from the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, Foreign Affairs regarding the death and burial.
Tungule.
Yes.
If you asked on 15th of October before the long recess,
yes,
it elapsed.
Yeah.
And when we came back, I directed that any member who had a statement that had lapsed should go to the office where you deposit those statements, the table office, and resurrect your statements. Did you do so?
Actually, I missed that communication, Mr. Speaker.
So you discontinue what you are saying, take your seat, and go to the table office and embark on resurrecting your statement. Once you do so, I'll allocate you time to request once more. If you do it this afternoon, I can slot you for Thursday. Allow me, honorable members, to also acknowledge in the Speaker's Gallery Kabare girls from Gishugu, Kirinyaga. I've been asked by Kasheri to welcome the students. She says she went to that school. Kasheri?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It is indeed an honor to welcome the girls to the 13th Parliament. And I just want to encourage them and tell them that I was once a student at Kapare Girls. My dormitory was Longonot. We used to call it Long T. And I used to be the music captain. So I also used to offer some entertainment if you talked to me nicely. So I want to tell them that we are here because this country and the 2010 Constitution has afforded women to be leaders. And it has given a clear guideline that once women are given the opportunity, they can lead and they can perform. We have governors who are female, and I know for a fact that in the near future, we will have a female president. If it is not one of us on this floor today, it must be one of you girls seated up there. So please put in the hard work. Remember to protect your dignity. Remember that we are doing this to shape the path for you. God bless you.
You've said everything except welcoming them to Parliament. Yes. Did you? Thank you, Kasheri. Next order. Honorable members, those who have an interest in the issue of the policy on hardship areas, the Prime Cabinet Secretary was supposed to come to the House tomorrow to give a statement on the issue. I've received communication that is out of the country, and therefore, Owen Bayer, you organize with your office to have him here the first Wednesday on resumption after the short recess. That Wednesday will be 1st April.
Much obliged, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 8, motion, consideration of the 2026 budget policy statement. Question to be put.
Members at the bar, take the nearest seats. Thank you, honorable members. I'll now put the question at order number 8, which is that this House adopts the report. Order. This House adopts the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the Budget Policy Statement, BPS, for the financial year 2026-27, and a compendium of departmental committee reports on the 2026 Budget Policy Statement, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 4th March 2026, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 25(7) of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412A, and Standing Order 2329 and 10A, approves the Budget Policy Statement for the financial year 2026-2027. B, makes the following financial resolutions with respect to the Budget Policy Statement. Roman 1, that the national government budget ceiling be approved at Kenya shillings 2,878,426,500,000, of which 1, the executive, of which executive 2 trillion 797 billion 202 million 700,000, of which Office of the Auditor General Kenya shillings 9 billion 026 million 300,000, 2 Parliament 50 billion 782 million, 3 Judiciary 30 billion 441 million 800,000. That the allocation to county government's equitable share be approved at Kenya shillings 420 billion. That consistent with the latest audited and approved revenues, the allocation to the equalization fund be set at 9 billion 602 million 170,425. That the county government additional allocations be approved at Kenya shillings 75 billion 692 million 700,182 as per the fourth schedule to the report, which shall form the basis for the county government additional allocation bill for the financial year 2026-2027. That the allocation for the public participation initiatives be approved at Kenya shillings 4 billion under vote 1071 of the National Treasury, and resolves that 1, consistent with the resolution of the House of 3rd March 2026 on the 2026 medium-term debt strategy, the fiscal deficit be maintained at 5.3% of the gross domestic product GDP. 2, the first schedule to the order paper forms the basis for the ceilings for the financial year 2026-27 budget estimates. 3, that the policy resolutions contained in the second schedule to the order paper, non-financial recommendations relating to the budget policy statement for the financial year 2026-2027 shall form the basis for financial year 2026-2027 budget estimates. And 4, the minimal adjustments in the gross ceilings in the second schedule to the report be accommodated in the revenue yield expected from ongoing tax administration reforms and the enhanced funding to Kenya Revenue Authority. As many as of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026. Second reading.
Honorable members, I'm sure you know that the Division of Revenue Bill is actually a regurgitation of the budget policy statement. The House Business Committee did indicate and decide that we will take the shortest time possible on this motion so that we can go to the committee of the whole House. So Atandi, you may move, have your seconder, and let's see how we move thereafter.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, before I move the bill on the Division of Revenue, I want first of all to thank the House for the adoption of the BPS 2026, which has just occurred. Honorable Speaker, the adoption of the BPS now paves the way for consideration of the Division of Revenue Bill. And Honorable Speaker, Division of Revenue Bill, essentially the main purpose of the bill is to share nationally raised resources between national government and the county government. And Honorable Speaker, the the formula for sharing is based on the most recent audited accounts.
Honorable Atandi, I prefer that you have no preamble to moving the bill.
Okay.
Just move the bill.
Okay, thank you. So, Honorable Speaker, I would like just to make a few remarks before I move the bill.
That's what I'm discouraging you from doing.
Okay.
You can make those few remarks within the context of moving the bill.
Okay. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Division of Revenue Bill 2026
I beg to move that the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026 be now read a second time.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 be now read a second time. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, just like I mentioned, the purpose of this bill is to allocate resources raised nationally between the county government and the national government. Honorable Speaker, having now adopted, the House having adopted the BPS 2026, now it is the turn of the House to consider this bill. Honorable Speaker, this bill, Division Revenue Bill, is anchored on Article 218, and it has very, very specific timelines. The law says that the bill must be passed 2 months before the end of the financial year. Honorable Speaker, this bill is aligned with that, the requirement of the Article 218. Honorable Speaker, the consideration of this bill must meet the contents of the Article 218, which also outlines that, Honorable Speaker, we must peg it on the most recent audited accounts of revenues. Honorable Speaker, for this case, the most recent audited accounts of revenues, which has already been passed by the House, is the revenues for 2022-2023 financial year. Honorable Speaker, I also would like to add that the schedule of the bill provides that the total shareable revenue for the year 2026-2027 is estimated at 2,901,874,751,144. And the allocation is as follows. One, national government share is 2,472,272,587,719. County government equitable share, 420 billion. Equalization fund, 9,602,170,425. Honorable Speaker, I just want to emphasize that as we consider this bill, I must indicate that the sharing is a vertical sharing. The sharing is a vertical sharing, and as I've said, the most recent audited revenues are those for the financial year 2022-2023. Honorable Speaker, this bill also contains the equalization fund. Honorable Speaker, under Article 204 sub 1 of the Constitution provides that 0.5% of the revenue collected by the national government each year, based on the most recent audited and approved accounts of revenue by the National Assembly, be paid into the fund. Honorable Speaker, the law requires that before we consider any bill, we must engage in extensive public participation. And I would like to report to the House that the Budget and Appropriations Committee did engage in extensive public participation, and we were able to talk to various institutions, including the Council of Governors, the Commission of Revenue Allocation, the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, IGTRC, Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council, IBEC, and we also spoke to the National Treasury, among other stakeholders, Honorable Speaker. And this report is based on the input that we received from those stakeholders, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we received also memorandum from other stakeholders, including the private sector and the civil society. Honorable Speaker, as you rightfully said, that this bill is aligned to the BPS statement which you have just passed. Therefore, I would not like to engage in more further discussions because this bill mirrors what was discussed. And Honorable Speaker, we engaged in extensive discussions when we were going through the BPS last week. So, Honorable Speaker, I don't want to spend more time. I just want to indicate that National Treasury has been meeting the arrears of the Equalization Fund over the years, that we have not been able to factor in all the arrears. So in this bill, there's an allocation of 5.6 billion, which is going to be partial payments of arrears to the Equalization Fund, which now brings the total allocations to the fund at 15.2 billion for the financial year 2026-2027. Honorable Speaker, Article 218, Sub 2 of the Constitution, and Section 191, Sub 5 of the PFM Act require the National Treasury to give reasons for any deviation between their proposal for equitable revenue sharing between the two levels of government and the CRA proposal. Honorable Speaker, CRA had proposed 454 billion as shareable revenue to counties, while National Treasury proposed 420 billion in the bill. Now, the deviation, Honorable Speaker, reasons given for the deviation on revenue sharing include the following: that National Treasury projects the shareable revenue for 2026-2027 at 2.901.9 trillion, whereas CRA has a revenue projection amounting to 2.982 trillion. Honorable Speaker, this is a difference of 80.9 billion. The National Treasury attributed their comparatively modest revenue projection to major economic shocks that are likely to negatively affect forecasted revenue in 2026-2027, whereas CRA projection is based on yearly revenue growth. To equitable share, Honorable Speaker, the National Treasury proposes to allocate 2.472.3 trillion to the national government, 420 billion to county government, and 15.2 billion to Equalization Fund. This is inclusive of 5.6 billion in arrears, whereas CRA proposes allocation of 2.512 trillion to national government and 9.6 billion to the respective institutions. Honorable Speaker, the CRA recommendations are partly informed by high estimated shareable revenue and the inclusion of attendant total resources for remuneration to UHC workers. Honorable Speaker, UHC workers, these are workers that were hired when we had the crisis of COVID crisis. So, Honorable Speaker, their pay is normally factored in the county additional allocations bill. But, Honorable Speaker, the CRA recommends that these resources be moved as part of county share allocations. So, Honorable Speaker, this means that their recommendation is higher than what the National Treasury has proposed, because National Treasury has proposed that the resources be retained under the county government additional allocations bill. Honorable Speaker, as I wind up, I would like to say that, just like we said it when I was considering the BPS, that we are hoping that this financial year, the coming financial year, we are likely to raise more resources because of the reforms that have been recommended for KRA and the resources that have been allocated way above what they have been given in the past. So, Honorable Speaker, if in case we are able to achieve those resources, then maybe we will be able to add more resources to counties. But, Honorable Speaker, because of previous cases where we have not been able to meet our revenue projections, I cannot be optimistic at this stage that we are able to allocate counties more resources. Honorable Speaker, of course, there are also other political factors that must be considered when we will be going to the division of revenue, when we will be going to the mediation between the Senate and the National Assembly, then the other factors will be considered. I'm listening to my leader, the Honorable Junet Mohammed, and I want to assure you that this is part process of going through the sharing of resources. And there are other more stages that are going to come ahead of us. When we get to those stages, then the allocations to counties most likely will go up. So I want to assure you, Honorable Junet Mohammed, not to worry about my presentation on the floor of the House as far as this bill is concerned. Honorable Speaker, I would like to move and ask the Honorable Makali Mulu to second.
Thank you. Who is seconding? Makali Mulu.
Makali Mulu.
Go ahead, Makali.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I take this opportunity to second the Division of Revenue Bill 2026, Honorable Speaker. And as my chairman has said, Honorable Speaker, this focuses on vertical sharing of national revenue, Honorable Speaker, is well informed by the BPS, which you have just passed, Honorable Speaker. But even as we approve this Division of Revenue Bill, Honorable Speaker, there are about 3 or 4 issues which I think is important and worthy the House noting, so that as we move to the future, we are able to get it right. The first thing, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of the audited reports. Honorable Speaker, you realize that as we are doing the budget policy statement, we are using the figures of 2020-2021 financial year, because those are the ones which had been audited and approved by the House. That is about 4 years behind, Honorable Speaker. And it means really the figures we are using, then they don't really reflect the reality as it is on the ground. Honorable Speaker, with the latest approval which has just taken place, we are now dealing with the figures of 2022-2023, which now pushes again to about 2 years behind, Honorable Speaker. So this, I think, is an area as House. We need, Honorable Speaker, to see how we can fast track so that we help the counties get their rightful share in terms of revenue sharing, Honorable Speaker. The second issue, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of the projected revenue, Honorable Speaker. If you look at the figures being proposed by the CRA, the figures we are proposing as a House, and the figures the Council of Governors are proposing, Honorable Speaker, they are all different figures. Why are they different? They're different basically because we are not getting it right in terms of projected revenue, Honorable Speaker. So I think in the area of national revenue, Honorable Speaker, that's another area we need to improve. We need to come up with a framework which to some extent can minimize these deviations by different organizations. Because CRA is proposing about 454 billion, honorable members. And now we are proposing 420. And when you look at the analysis, the difference is basically because of the revenue figures. So I think we really need to get it right. The third point, Honorable Speaker, is that despite that every year we give these figures, of late there has been a tendency where the counties are not getting their money by the end of the closure of the financial year, Honorable Speaker. Like last year, we actually closed with about 34 billion, which had not been released, Honorable Speaker. And I think this is another area that once we approve these figures then, the national government through Treasury should make an effort of releasing the funds as passed in the Act. So by doing that, Honorable Speaker, we'll be able to enable the counties implement as they are planned, Honorable Speaker, because every year they do their annual budgets. And if we don't release the resources, Honorable Speaker, then we have that challenge. So those 3 areas, Honorable Speaker, those are areas we can really mention as we approve this bill. And then the last one, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of costing the devolved functions. If you look at the latest report, Honorable Speaker, by the Intergovernmental Committee, the indication was that we still have about 60 billion worth of functions, which are still at the headquarters, and they should be devolved. So I think that's another area as a House. We need to help the national government so that they devolve those functions. And the law is very clear. Once you devolve functions, Honorable Speaker, you also then devolve the resources for those functions. I think if you go that direction, Honorable Speaker, then we'll be able to give the counties their rightful share, and then we'll be making the right law for the counties. Those are my remarks, Honorable Speaker. I second. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Members on their feet, take your seats. Take your seats. Honourable members, I'll now propose the question at order number 9, which is that the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026, be now read a second time. Yes, Owen?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I support DORA, or the Division of Revenue Bill, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say the following 3 things, Honorable Speaker. 1, the Division of Revenue is a very important piece of legislation that comes every financial year, Honorable Speaker, and it's part of the budget cycle. But, Honorable Speaker, suffice it to note that We are using accounts of 2020, 2021, Honorable Speaker. I want to call this a constitutional infringement on counties. Because if we were using the current accounts, Honorable Speaker, probably these counties would get more money. But you see, we are using accounts that have been, they are 4 years late, and therefore denying counties.
To whom are you complaining?
No, I'm not complaining, Honorable Speaker.
I also heard Makali Mulu saying the same thing.
I will put the blame on the right place, Honorable Speaker. I'll put the blame on the right place. Just allow me to proceed.
Go on.
Because, Honorable Speaker, these accounts get audited and they come to a committee, Honorable Speaker, committee of this House. And I think the committees of this House, especially the audit committees, Honorable Speaker, need to work faster so that we are up to date. And I think that would be a legacy for this Parliament. Whatever we can do, Honorable Speaker, so that we can fast track and bring the accounts, the audited accounts, up to date, Honorable Speaker, it will be helpful, Honorable Speaker, to this country, and it would help to anchor devolution properly. The second thing I want to address, Honorable Speaker, is the issue that happens at the counties, especially on the issues of pending bills. And I keep on asking myself, why are we accruing a lot of pending bills in the counties? Is it because Treasury releases funds late? Is it because of the exigencies of the governors and county governments, Honorable Speaker? Or where is the problem? And why is it that we as a country are not properly addressing pending bills at the county government? Because, you see, I have seen deliberate efforts at the national level, Honorable Speaker, to address the issue of pending bills. And I think on the road sector, the national government has done very well to pay off the pending bills. But each year, Honorable Speaker, we have an increase of pending bills in counties, Honorable Speaker. Much as we give them money, Honorable Speaker, and we decide on the funds, Honorable Speaker, we actually need to. If the Senate, Honorable Speaker, is unable to hold to account these governors and counties, Honorable Speaker, probably this House needs to, so that the money that we appropriate for counties, Honorable Speaker, really gets the value that we expect to get. The third thing, Honorable Speaker, is that there are certain areas that as we appropriate funds to counties that probably do not get justice when these funds get there, Honorable, especially on the social services and programs. Every county wants to build this road, wants to do this, wants to do this, but they forget that there are certain services, like health services, like education, especially for ECDs, Honorable Speaker. These are things that are recurrent in nature, but matter very much, Honorable Speaker, in terms of bringing those counties to the same level as others, Honorable Speaker. And I think these are issues as we appropriate funds that we need to tell those that we give the funds to, especially the division of revenue and the money that goes to the account. We want more accountability. We want more proper usage. We want efficiency in the usage of funds as they go there, Honorable, to the counties, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I support.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to the Division of Revenue Bill, which is a routine annual bill as provided for in the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Honorable Speaker, as I support, allow me to make 2 comments on the same. I want to reiterate the comments by the whip plus Dr. Makali Mulu on the issue of the accuracy of the data that we are using for the division of revenue between the national government and the county government. Truth of the matter, Honorable Speaker, I think for this particular year, we are using the auditors accounts of 2022-2023. And why are we lagging behind, Honorable Speaker? And I want to appeal to the House leadership that the Office of the Auditor General dutifully and as required by the Constitution submit the audited accounts on time, as required by the Constitution and the Public Audit Act. However, either it's a matter of backlog or the Parliamentary Service Commission has not provided adequate facilitation and logistics to enable the Committee of Public Accounts Committee to update and come to speed. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to appeal to you as the Chair of Public Service Commission and the technical team to go back and look at ways and modalities to ensure that before this Parliament ends next year, we could be as much as possible up to date with the consideration, the public audit, the reports. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, I met my governor on Saturday, Dr. Paul Nyongeso Tuoma, and indicated to me that there had been an agreement somewhere that the counties this financial year will receive 450 billion. Probably what I'm seeing here is 420. Probably off record, I'll ask my neighbor, the chairman of Budget Appropriation Committee, to explain to me, because the expectations outside there, that because of the ongoing discussion, that the amount is going to be taken 450 billion, so that we can have truly entrenched devolution as was required, or as expected in the NADCO report and the 10-point agenda. That's a debate. I leave the people of Kenya to have a discussion on the same. Honorable Speaker, the issue of delayed disbursement again keeps on recurring. Many of the governors are routinely complaining, it's either by design or by happenstance, that the money is either delivered or disbursed the very last day, which makes it impossible to absorb the same, or they never disbursed on time. Honorable Speaker, that's the sentiment. How factual it is, that's how we can check on the disbursement schedule from the National Treasury. However, Honorable Speaker, I have heard somewhere today in some report that alleges that all counties receive their monies timeously and the devolution has been entrenched. Honorable Speaker, I find it very interesting that we could be talking at cross purpose, so probably also leave it to the people outside the Kenyans to determine who is telling the truth. Are they the Council of Governors or some fund reports that is circulating in the social media arising out of some committee that has presented some report? Honorable Speaker, thirdly, on the issue of accountability, the bleeding and the hemorrhage in the counties still remains one of the biggest problems. One of the biggest problems. Yet we have institutions charged with oversight in the counties, county governments, that's the respective county assemblies, the Senate. We have bodies charged with ensuring this accountability, that's the EACC and the other investigative bodies. The question we beg on asking, do we lack capacity? Do we lack political goodwill? Or is it because the governors have now have very close relationship with the national executive that they're being shielded from prosecution so that we can feel the weight of devolution as envisaged by Baba Raila Odinga? Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, the issue of pending bills remains a monster that we must find a way of getting solved. Counties are unable to provide or pay their bills on time. Because of this regard, the amount of suffering the suppliers are going through, the contractors are going through, plus their families, is becoming unbearable, and this is making this devolution, people start to regret, was their devolution required or not? With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support the bill, and I hope the strategies we normally find when you go for mediation will not happen this time round, because sometimes it is tough. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Bowen. Give the mic to Bowen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to the division of revenue bill. Mr. Speaker, this is a constitutional requirement under our constitution that we have this annual bill in the name of division of revenue bill. And Mr. Speaker, it is very important as a house that we approve this bill because, Honorable Speaker, as you know that the bill will enable the counties to plan their budgets. Mr. Speaker, once this bill is approved, the counties, including the county assemblies, they will be able to plan their budget based on what they are going to receive from this division of revenue bill. Mr. Speaker, the division of revenue bill operationalizes devolution by ensuring, Mr. Speaker, that the counties receives their funding and make sure that there is an equitable development across the counties. And Mr. Speaker, as we do this as a house, as a National Assembly, Mr. Speaker, this bill, once approved, will be taken to the Senate. And Mr. Speaker, you will find sometimes that at the Senate, they want to amend the bill to increase what this House or what the Budget Committee has provided, that is going to be the shareable revenue for the counties. Yet, Mr. Speaker, as a country, we need to work within our budget, what we have. We share what we have. We cannot budget what we don't have, Mr. Speaker. So, and even, Mr. Speaker, as we approve this bill, we would want to see that all the monies which are going to the counties, we would want to see our improved health centers, the county hospitals, because this is basically, Mr. Speaker, as to why we are appropriating these resources to the counties. But sometimes you go to the counties, Mr. Speaker, you go to an hospital, many people, many patients who are going to the county hospitals, and then you will find that when they are there, they are told they are not medicine or drugs in those hospitals. They are given prescriptions to go and buy outside, to look elsewhere. So there must be an accountability, Mr. Speaker, on the monies we are giving out to the counties. Mr. Speaker, from the pending bills we have as a country, and the Budget Committee Chair is here, will tell you that the big percentage of the pending bills we have as a country is also at our counties. The counties, they are not paying suppliers, especially when there is a successive, regime, or when there is a change of regime at the counties. Once a new governor comes in, Honorable Speaker, he comes and starts a new projects altogether, and the projects which were initiated by the previous governor gets told, Mr. Speaker, government exists by perpetuity, Mr. Speaker. Whoever comes in must be able to proceed to make sure that the projects which were started by the previous governor must be completed, because the contractors at the counties are Kenyans. These are people who have gone to the banks to borrow some loans and to do business with the counties. So, Mr. Speaker, as we work on, as a house, to approve this bill, there is need for our friends at the Senate to make sure that they hold the governors accountable of these resources we are giving them. So, Mr. Speaker, I just want to ask also our county assemblies. They are the first line of oversight. But you will find that our county assemblies, they are in bed with our governors. So we want to ask our county assemblies to make sure that our governors are accountable to the county assemblies, so that the resources which we are giving them, we are appropriating them, and this in this house and as a parliament, Mr. Speaker, goes towards helping our people. With those many remarks, I support, Mr. Speaker.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi leo niweze kuzungumzia makadirio ya bajeti, Mheshimiwa Spika, ama mgao ambao unaenda katika national government na county government. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwanza ningeweza kumpongeza chair wa budget na kikosi chake chote kwa kufanya usawa. Mheshimiwa Spika, muda mrefu counties wamekuwa wakilalamika wakisema mgao wao ni mdogo, na kweli tumekuwa tukiona kwa muda mrefu wamekuwa kuna mambo mengi sana waweza wakajifanyia, Mheshimiwa Spika, na hasa ukiangalia upande wa disaster na mambo mengi. Hospitali saa zingine unaambiwa madawa hakuna, barabara kule zimeharibika. Lakini pia Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nataka niseme hivi, haya makadirio ambayo yameweka leo ni ya kuweza kuwasaidia waweze kurun counties vizuri Mheshimiwa Spika. Lakini pia hatutaki kusikia kuwa pesa zimeingia county na bado watu wanakosa madawa hospitali, barabara na miundo msingi kwa mbaya Mheshimiwa Spika. Na kwanza ningependa kusema hata katika hii makadirio tuangalie tu pia mambo ya disaster. Manake juzi na jana tumeona mvua imenyesha kubwa sana na imeharibu sehemu kubwa. Kwa hiyo kama pia wao magavana waweza, na wao wanapata hii disaster fund, najua wanapata, wao wakiangalia vizuri miundo misingi, waweze kutengeza zile barabara ambazo zinahusika na county, waweze kuangalia kuwa mashimo ambayo yameziba yote wamezibua, kwa sababu huu msimu wa mvua tutakuja kuona mambo mengi sana. Kwa hiyo wao wanajitayarisha katika mambo haya badala ya kulia. Najua sisi jana na juzi hapa tulikuja tukaongezea pesa ikafika bilioni 415. Na hapa naona pia wameongezewa zingine katika haya makadirio, na pia leo nimemsikia rais akisema kuna ile 70 bilioni ambao pia ilikuwa iko kwenye mgao wao, yote inafika zaidi ya karibu nusu ya trilioni Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo mimi napenda tu kusema hizi pesa zikiingia mashinani lazima zifanye kazi. Na ningekuwa na raha sana kama ningeona pia sisi kina mama county makadirio yetu yamewekwa humu, lakini najua kuna mambo mengine ambayo yanaendelea mpaka yamalizwe na yatatuliwe kwanza ndio tuweze kujua NGCDF na NGAF tunaenda vipi, kwa sababu hata sisi kazi ambayo tunafanya Mheshimiwa Spika ni kazi ngumu sana, na ni kazi ambayo watu ni wengi lakini mgao ni kidogo. Kwa hiyo mimi niwaambie hata la taifa kuu, hizi pesa ambazo wanapata vile rais anasema lazima makadirio vile yamewekwa, pesa zikishuka chini zishuke kwa mambo ambayo yanaonyesha ujenzi wa taifa kikamilifu. Na nimpongeze kwa sababu amekazana na amefanya kazi nzuri sana. Hata hizi akiongezewa, najua hizi pesa haziwezi kwenda mbaya kwa sehemu mbaya, kwa sababu rais amebainisha hata ile affordable housing pesa zikienda, sisi tulikuwa tunasema hii ni biashara mingine, lakini Mheshimiwa Spika ameweza kutuprove wrong na akaonyesha kwa kuonyesha waziwazi kuwa nyumba ndio hizi zinajengwa na watu wanaingia, watu wametolewa katika sehemu mbovu. Kwa hiyo pesa ya national government tumeona ikifanya kazi vizuri sana. Na mimi nasema county government mmelia sana, jumba hili liko hapa kuwasaidia, lakini pia tukiwasaidia na nyinyi kule chini, manake tuwajua health imekuwa devolved, mambo ya education kidogo ECD, tuone na watoto chakula wanapata vizuri shuleni, darasa zao ziko sawa, ile miundo misingi ambayo inashughulikiwa na county ama maendeleo ya county tuwe tunaona Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu tuliona magazeti yakiandika kuwa kuna wengine ambao hata hawakuweza kutumia pesa kwenye maendeleo. Mheshimiwa Spika, pesa nyingi zilichukuliwa zikawekwa kwenye mishahara. Mimi niseme tu magavana wetu muwe wabunifu, hizi pesa zikishuka chini muonyeshe wananchi kuwa kweli ugatuzi unafanya kazi, ndio tuweze kujua kweli hizi pesa hata mkitaka tuongezee kila siku tutaongeza, lakini tuone umuhimu wa pesa. Kwa hiyo haya makadirio yako sawa kabisa Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi nataka niwapongeze ambao wameiandaa hii, na nipongeze pia juhudi ya rais kusema kuwa hawezi kuchukua loan kutoka nje. Mheshimiwa Spika, ilikuwa tukipiga kelele hapa sana wakati wa budget ikifika, kwa sababu ilikuwa tunaona pesa zinakopwa sana, lakini rais amejibidisha na amesema anataka Kenya iwe loan free, na amekataa tena hachukui loan hata ile pesa infrastructure ambayo alikuwa anasema ile trillions ambayo imepitishwa jana na juzi. Mheshimiwa Spika, hizi si pesa ambazo zitakatwa wananchi, wala si pesa ambazo zitaombwa kule nje. Ni pesa ambayo rais anatumia njia yake na mbinu ya kutafuta katika vitu ambavyo viko hapa ndani ya taifa letu, ili kuwekeza katika mambo ambayo yataweza kusaidia taifa. Kwa hiyo Wakenya wajue, Kenya pia hatuwezi kuwa watu wa kukopa. Ikiwa tumelipa Eurobond, pesa yote imekamilika, lazima tumpongeze rais kwa kazi nzuri ambayo anafanya. Ila tu mimi niseme wale ambao wanashughulika na haya mapeni kule chini, kuna sekta tofauti tofauti, pesa za equalization fund na pesa zingine zikija kwenu, hakikisheni hizi pesa mnazifanyia kazi ili tusiweze kulaumu mtu mmoja wakati kuna mtu ambaye amekaa kando ndo anafanya ubadhirifu, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na wakati mwingine pia, Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi kama mama county naomba next time chairman wa budget tukumbuke pia sisi kina mama county tuwekeke vitu hapo kidogo kidogo ziweze kutusaidia huko chini. Mambo pia ni magumu kwetu, Mheshimiwa Spika. Asante sana na ninapongeza kamati ambayo imeandaa hii. Asante sana.
Martha Wangari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I right to support this bill, I want to note, Mr. Speaker, that this House has dutifully undertaken its duty in DORA every year, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that money reaches the counties at the right time. And Mr. Speaker, if you look at the amount that we are speaking about right here, and you mirror it to CDF, Mr. Speaker, it is over $1 billion versus almost an average of 150 million per constituency, Mr. Speaker. And that then means, Mr. Speaker, that we should have more done by this money than we are currently seeing. Mr. Speaker, devolution was meant to change a few things in the counties. And Mr. Speaker, we are still struggling with basics, ECDs, Mr. Speaker, primary health, because what this was supposed to do, Mr. Speaker, was to ensure that the referral hospitals only dealt with the referral cases, Mr. Speaker. The issue of dispensaries and health centers all the way to level 4, Mr. Speaker, should have been effectively being dealt by the county governments, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, to ease the problems that we have in Kenyatta, in MTRH, in Eldoret, Mr. Speaker, we would by now have ensured that issues like immunization, HIV management, Mr. Speaker, typhoid, common colds, they should not get their ways to Kenyatta, Mr. Speaker, because at any level, at the dispensary, at the health centers, these issues will be sorted. But Mr. Speaker, allow me to speak to one issue I see that is a problem with the county governments. Mr. Speaker, we speak over 400 billion right now, but don't forget, Mr. Speaker, we still have other monies. Just recently, the Treasury actually released the list of the 36 counties that are to benefit from World Bank, more than 6 billion, 6.7 billion, Mr. Speaker. And what we are seeing in the counties, Mr. Speaker, is that the World Bank projects are being flaunted like the main projects that are being done by the county governments. Mr. Speaker, you'll come to Gilgil and you'll find Cabro works being done in the town, but it is not the county government allocation, Mr. Speaker, it is the World Bank. You go to climate change works, Mr. Speaker, you find FLOCA, which is a World Bank, which is also a World Bank supported fund, doing a lot in the counties and in the constituencies, Mr. Speaker, but it is not the county government allocation. So, Mr. Speaker, governors must also stop hiding behind the World Bank and the National Treasury appropriated projects to fool Kenyans and to fool members of their counties that this is the money they are getting in this allocation, Mr. Speaker. This allocation, therefore, must be accounted for to the shillings as on a stand-alone item, Mr. Speaker, and not to be just camouflaged through the World Bank projects. Mr. Speaker, the other issue I'll speak about is the issue of oversight. Mr. Speaker, I get very discouraged when we are trying to get CSS to this floor to answer questions, yet we have the mandate to oversight the national executive, but they are answering questions in the Senate. Mr. Speaker, we have to get to a point, whether it is this dispensation or the next, but for posterity, Mr. Speaker, we must get to a point where the attention of the Senate is basically on the governors, Mr. Speaker. The appearance of the CSS in the Senate has derailed that mandate, Mr. Speaker. So they end up spending all the time, and Mr. Speaker, they do not answer to them in matters of budget. They cannot even have a censure motion or an impeachment, Mr. Speaker, because their mandate is limited. Mr. Speaker, we have to get to a point where the governors know that when the questions are asked in the Senate, they are able to answer. That way, Mr. Speaker, we'll be able to get the county governments to be accountable and to ensure that we have actually streamlined what the county governments are supposed to do. Mr. Speaker, that way, our people can be able to deal with the issues that affect the counties. Mr. Speaker, the issues that the counties are allocated by Schedule 4 are very basic, like I said. Mr. Speaker, this issue of drainage, the floodings we are seeing every day. You will find, Mr. Speaker, a county government has 8,000, like Nakuru or more, workers that you do not know what they do, Mr. Speaker. We should be able to ensure that anytime there is a crisis, like the flooding crisis, Mr. Speaker, these workers are able to ensure that the drainages are clogged in time. And Mr. Speaker, we know when the meteorologist says it's gonna rain. So, Mr. Speaker, this is what we are supposed to do, to see in every town, in every center, the rural roads, Mr. Speaker, ensuring that the zero mileage and zero distribution of fertilizer is taken to the doorstep of farmers, Mr. Speaker. That is the support we need to see in the county government. So, Mr. Speaker, as I support, I hope that the counties can read what can actually adhere to what they should do, can adhere to their mandate, the MCA is the same, and Mr. Speaker, more importantly, the Senate. That way we can be able to ensure that oversight is clear and we are not duplicating or missing the point in terms of supporting devolution. With that, Mr. Speaker, I support.
Nabi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the bill. Mr. Speaker, I want to start by saying the Constitution 2010, Schedule 4, identifies and allocates functions to each level of government. And as we know, money follows functions. The counties, as we know them, they receive money for early child development, education, health, agriculture, roads, to mention but a few. Mr. Speaker, my concern is that as we allocate this money, as the national government develops basic education, primary, junior school, secondary school, in many of the counties, the foundation is missing. You have a good primary school, it has no ECD. You have enough teachers for primary school, counties have no teachers for the ECD. It raises the question, do we need to recalibrate so that in the years to come, as we look at the division of revenue bill, it should be accompanied by an audited, functional record of what is happening in the counties. Today, Mr. Speaker, if you went to the constituencies, all county roads are impassable. And yet, we allocate money for the same. Mr. Speaker, with the rains and the changing patterns of weather, you will find that the ECD children are unable to go to school because they are missing classes. What they have is makeshift classes. In some counties, they are even attending lessons in churches. This calls for, Mr. Speaker, developing much more than what we know as accountability mechanism. I'm recommending that the many non-state actors who have been following us on CDF and Gov money, they should spend much more time developing social accountability mechanism to hold county governments and governors accountable. Mr. Speaker, this country is going to have a crisis, and this is the crisis. We allocate money using this bill. Then, thereafter, there will be something here for conditional grants. Then, the very counties get money from World Bank. What then happens, they use money for conditional grants, they use money from World Bank, and the money we allocate through the division of revenue, it's not accounted for. In some counties, despite having a basic minimum, bearing of 35% at least on development, they have as less as 10, 15. And the controller has pointed out the mismatch between spending for development and spending for recurrent expenditure. I'm more worried where the national government goes to take over projects started by county governments. And the same county governments, when you look in the budget, they still reflect money to those projects. From my understanding, we are doing double counting. So one level of government is lying, and this is the county government. I would like to insist that where the national government wants...
Yes, Owen Baya, what's your point of order?
You know, I'm a very good student of one Martin Shikuku, who said that the word lying is not parliamentary.
Indeed, Honorable Nabi, lying is not parliamentary language. Misleading.
It's misleading. One level of government is misleading.
Excellent.
But for sure, Mr. Speaker, when I pick money from you with an intention of helping Atandi, for example, and I don't do it, what would I have done?
Cheating.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I was saying...
Yes, Nguzia. Nguna, what is your point of order?
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. I am just wondering, how can you eat money? How do you eat money, actually?
Are you the only stranger in Jerusalem? Go on.
Mr. Speaker, my recommendation is where the national government wants to assist a county government on a project that they have started and they are unable, they should take over the whole project. And that project becomes a national government project. That is the only way we can ensure we are getting value for money and both the levels of government remain accountable. Finally, Mr. Speaker, this parliament needs to think through ourselves and the Senate, whether we are not duplicating functions by allowing national, state officers, the principal secretaries, to go and answer issues that they have answered in National Assembly to Senate. I'm raising this to support what Honorable Wangare said, that actually the Senate is instead chasing shadows and leaving the really envelope, which is called county governments. They need to spend more time holding county governments accountable, because what is going on in the county governments is not anything near accountability. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Yes, Kitur.
Honorable Speaker, I stand on a point of order 95. Reading the mood of the House, Honorable Speaker, that the mover be called to reply.
Honorable members, he's got a valid point of order, but let's have some middle ground. This bill reflects virtually what you discussed in the BPS. In the interest of good time management, I see a few members who want to say something. Can I limit your time to about 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Or let's agree, it is now 4:28. Can we close this debate at 5 and go into committee? Remember, these are constitutionally time-bound bills. So if we'll do up to 5, and I see several hands up, let me use my discretion to give you 3 minutes each. Maklap? Remember,
thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Charles Dickens said, if you can't make your point in 2 minutes, you are unlikely to make any point in 1 hour.
Mr. Speaker, you have already eaten my 40 seconds. Mr. Speaker, I rise first of all to support his Division of Revenue Bill, Bill number 2 of 2026. Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding the contradictions that in this bill, it is 420. Elsewhere, it is 450. But I will heavily rely on the truth of this because this is what we said, this is what was contained in the BBS. I will not go to the other side. Why, Mr. Speaker, is because why are we continuously increasing resources for county governments without knowing what kind of functions are following these particular resources? The resources, if we increase it from 385, what then did we take again to county governments so that it warrants an additional amount? And then subsequently, up to now, when we are saying we are proposing 420 billion to county government. It means there could be some functions in between last year and now that have been devolved to the county governments, and therefore functions, resources follow functions. So, Speaker, we must become truthful in this country. We are not going to allow resources of taxpayers of this country to continuously go to people when they change regimes in the county government. They add more employees even when there is no space for or need to employ more, or even stalling projects because another governor was having that particular resources. So, Speaker, it is therefore prudent that going forward, when this bill is brought to the House and there is an additional resources from previous financial year, then we should be told, because they now have this and these functions that have been taken to the county governments, therefore we need an additional resources to follow the functions. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, is the accountability. So, Speaker, the health care in the county governments, even if we have a functional share, what is share without medicine? You go there with share working, but the medicine is not there. And yet we have report from this House that resources are being sent to the county governments on time. In fact, when you go to the villages, Mr. Speaker, the MCS are saying MPs have not released the money. The money is held in Nairobi. And yet the truth of the matter is they receive resources on good time. And they don't provide the necessary medicine to to the dispensaries in our rural areas. So, Speaker, the question of accountability from the county assemblies to the Senate. So, Speaker, it is time that we need to look at some functions of, for example, health.
Your time is up. Before Shakil takes the floor, allow me to acknowledge in the public gallery Oriwo Boys High School from Karachonyo, Homa Bay. In the public gallery again, I don't know if this is public or speaker's gallery, we have Kangongi Comprehensive School from Madhioya in Muranga. Then we have Kabare Girls grade 2 from Gishugu, Kirinyaga. Group 2. Kabare girls, are they in the gallery? When you are mentioned, you stand up. They have left. So who are those in the speaker's gallery? I haven't seen them respond. Then we have Itara Secondary School from Mara in Tharaka Nithi. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to the House of Parliament. Shakil Shabir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as much as I want to get up and support the division of revenue bill, because it is within our mandate, and that is where we are working. I was a member of CKRC, and we discussed this issue of devolution. Devolution, of course, functions and revenue need to go together. One thing that we had discussed, Mr. Speaker, you might remember, we did not want the number of counties that we have. We wanted 10, if you remember. It was 14. We did not want so many because we felt that these excellencies would now become like little presidents. Mr. Speaker, sir, I spent a lot of time on devolution. An issue of devolution we spoke about was that each budget should be on a zero-based budgeting or performance budgeting. Mr. Speaker, I have been a mayor of a city, and we know how things work on own source revenue. These organizations counties that we're talking about now have declared very little on source revenue, and most of them are now depending on the division of revenue bill. We are saying that is fine, but you know what is happening is devolution was meant to have certain results. One of the results we did not want was to devolve corruption. We have actually devolved corruption at each level. There are issues at each county, and some of these issues are now becoming recurrent, and they are also now strangulating the counties. And I am of the opinion that even the oversight, recently I saw the governors and the Senate having an argument about oversight. It is an essential part of devolution. It's an essential part if the government has been given money, county government has been given money, based upon some sort of division of revenue bill. That must be followed to the T. However, once you give them the money, they start now changing their priorities. They start changing other issues.
SS member.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. As I rise to support the motion on approval of division of revenue, allow me first to appreciate the Committee of Budget and Appropriation and this Honorable House through your leadership for undertaking its constitutional responsibility of passing critical bills that are going to support devolution. One of it is the division of revenue bill that is before us. Mr. Speaker, as I stand to support this, it is high time at this moment when we are celebrating more than 10 years of devolution. In fact, we are doing almost from 2010, we're almost doing 15 years to around 16 years of devolution. And truth be said, Mr. Speaker, we have to go back to the spirit of our Constitution under fourth schedule, the provision and the separation of mandates and roles of the two levels of government. As we speak now, Mr. Speaker, there are many questions that Kenyans are asking, from year one of devolution up to the current year where we are now. If we are going to take a yardstick or measure the functions and the improvement, attainment of this devolution, true to be said, Kenyans will still have a lot of questions as to where we are moving. Why am I saying this? Today, we are discussing a division of revenue that has proposed a growth in the releases or in the money allocated for county governments or for devolution. It has grown to now, we are speaking of around 450 billion if you accumulate shareable revenue together with the conditional grants. But the question is this, despite the fact that this revenue is growing, Mr. Speaker, believe you me, the reports from the Controller of Budget are indicating that the cost on personnel is also growing. The question we are having is this, where are these employment being undertaken by counties taken to? What kind of role and functions is meant or is being focused by devolution units? Is it turning out to be an employment bureau? Because that is where it is eating the fiscal roles of this devolution. As we speak right now, more than 35% provided by the law is being spent on personnel emolument. Any county on average, they are doing almost 40%. Even if this growth on devolution, on a division of revenue will be done, that factor still remains constant. Then the question is this, is it a function of county to employ? And when they employ, what function does these employees undertake? Whereas we are seeing no difference in health, we are seeing no difference in education, we are seeing no difference in roads. Another issue, Mr. Speaker, that we have to speak about is the issue of oversight. That county assemblies need to have their game and focus on these ones, because this is where we are getting mismatched. Lastly, because time is very short, Mr. Speaker, we've seen governors asking to disperse bursaries to primary to basic education. Ninth function of the second part of fourth schedule is the issue of addressing the youth and sports. But we have never seen intervention focusing on post-secondary school by the governors on our youth. Mr. Speaker, it's a question that we need to ask the governors. Focus on youth post-secondary school, as this honorable house are addressing the bursaries for the best.
Bursaries.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to contribute to the Division of Revenue Bill, which determines how resources are shared between the national government and our county governments. This debate is not about the figures. It's about ensuring that the resources reach the people and address the realities they face on the ground every day. Honorable Speaker, over the past weeks, we have witnessed devastating floods in several parts of our country, including here in Nairobi. Families have lost homes, livelihoods have been disrupted, and tragically, lives have been lost. These events remind us that climate-related disasters are becoming more frequent and more severe. As we approve the division of revenue between the national and county governments, we must ask ourselves whether these resources are being aligned to the risks our people face. Counties are on the front line when disasters occur. They are responsible for urban planning, drainage systems, solid waste management, emergency response. The equitable share allocated to counties must therefore translate into stronger local infrastructure, better drainage systems, improved waste management, and preparedness when such disasters as floods occur. Honorable Speaker, climate change is no longer a theory and debates for conferences. It is a reality washing through our streets and homes. Our fiscal decisions therefore must reflect urgency and resilience and responsibility. At the same time, the national government must continue to invest in major infrastructure that counties cannot handle. And in that regard, we are really happy that there is a partnership right now going on between the Nairobi County and the national government. Large-scale flood mitigation projects, river rehabilitation, and urban stormwater systems require national support and coordination. This is particularly important in rapidly growing urban centers like Nairobi, where population and pressures of environmental challenges require both leadership and county accountability. Honorable Speaker, the real test for division revenue will not be the numbers we approve today. It will be whether the counties will be able to use these resources to protect lives, to improve infrastructure, and to build communities that are resilient to the changing climate. With those remarks, I support the bill while emphasizing the need for responsible use of resources and stronger investments in disaster preparedness and urban resilience. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support this DORA bill. Honorable Speaker, budget and budget process is a political tool and bargaining arena. DORA has divided the revenues to both county government and national government. But there is need to have this budget segregated, even to tell us how much has gone into Turkana South, how much has gone into Turkana County for that matter. Because, Honorable Speaker, budget has been skewed to some areas of this country. And the people of some of the marginalized areas are being underfunded by government budget. Honorable Speaker, DORA is one of the working documents for preparation of the budget. And it is this time I want to raise my voice that there is need to take into consideration on matters of security, and especially in the people of Turkana South. Nothing has been budgeted. Ministry has been promising a lot that they are going to buy vehicles for administration people of Turkana South. But nothing has been done. After the sub-county, Aro sub-county, lost 5 vehicles to banditry. They were banned by bandits during the raids that took place in 2 years ago. Honorable Speaker, the reason as to why I'm requesting the budget to be segregated, because there are some functions that belong to the national government as well as to the county governments. County governments are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. A case in hand, if you look at the hospital, the health services in Turkana County, Honorable Speaker, if you go to Lodwar County Referral Hospital, it is terrible. Yet, if you look at the budget of that particular county, a lot of money, more than 20%, is budgeted to the Ministry of Health or Department of Health of Turkana County. But if a patient goes there, rest assured that patient is not going to survive. Segregation also, again, there are a lot of needs, basic needs that are required by the people of these marginalized communities. Water. A lot has been budgeted to the Ministry of Water, yet this function has been devolved to county governments, and nothing is reaching to these marginalized communities.
Your time is up. Yes, Nyanze.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also hear my views on this bill. Even though, Speaker, I support the Division of Revenue bill, I have some issues which I want to raise, but before I raise, I want to say that actually the devolution for the last 10 years has brought general improvement in our rural areas. There is a lot of improvement because most of even the products which you find in Nairobi, you will find them in our supermarkets in the rural areas. And the rural areas, most of them, I mean, most of the counties have been developed. So we can say that the devolution has really made our country to improve in the infrastructure and also other things. From the BPS, where the division of revenue is actually coming from, there are some issues which I should be improved going forward, especially on the, one of them is on the pending bills. Some of the departments, even though they have very huge pending bills, do not even include these pending bills in their budgets. And going forward, I think these pending bills should be a priority. Even in the county governments, they do not give pending bills, they don't make it as a priority, especially when one governor leaves, the other one comes, and then they do not check, they don't care the pending bills which the previous governor ended. And this has left many of our people very poor. Some end loans, and some have even died from this stress from such pending bills. The other issue which we should also, in the future, Speaker, concentrate on is on revenue. Our county governments do not have good systems to collect their own revenue. And this leaves a lot of loopholes whereby there is a lot of corruption. And if this own revenue was collected well, then this wouldn't even ease our budget, and the division of revenue would actually be even less, so that the sharing would be better. But without the system, there are a lot of loopholes. Even though they collect from mamambogas who are left with nothing, they give so much money, and this money cannot be accounted for. So this is very, very unfair. So we should have, as
Fatuma Migori.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand to support the Division of Revenue Bill 2026. Honorable Speaker, as much as we are allocating revenue to counties, but I must put it that our counties are also not doing the right thing. You find some counties, the previous governor that was there before started a project. And as the new governor comes in, he neglects that project and starts his own project. And I think Auditor General needs to go and do a study on these projects that money was used, maybe up to half or quarter. The project is stalled there. Nobody's interested in that because that governor wants to start his own project and make his own name. And that alone is wastage of money. Honorable Speaker, as we walk towards the journey of Singapore, Singapore starts from the county. It cannot be at national level. If the governors cannot do their work properly, there is no way the president will deliver us to Singapore. So we also need to tell them the priorities that Singapore at national level has so that they incorporate with the county government and national government so that the dream of Singapore is arise. Honorable Speaker, the main issue we have is corruption. No matter how much we give the county government, if corruption is not dealt with at the lower level, the national government still will not manage to deal with it. So I request our counties, as you get your revenue, God is watching you. Please work for your people. Please help your people realize the dream of Singapore from Migori County to Homa Bay County to Nairobi County to Mombasa County, so that when the president takes us to Singapore, he counts his and the county governments counts theirs, and truly all of us will arrive in Singapore on our way to Canaan. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Emade.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First, I want to support and also acknowledge the fact that if it were not devolution, some counties like Turkana would not have developed as they are today. But, Honorable Speaker, the question that I remain asking, even today, is why is the poverty index, for example, in Turkana, that was brought to 79%, is now going up to 83%. From 97% to 79%, now it is going to 83%. Honorable Speaker, I know it is because the curse of pending bills is in these counties. Like, as at now, I will say the pending bill for Turkana County is 4.8 billion. If you had the wage bill, as at now, which is at 5.8 billion, it means their budget of 17.8 billion will already have been absorbed by either the pending bills or the wage bill, Honorable Speaker. Meaning, this poverty index, which is now at 83%, the hardcore poverty, which is now at 43%, the food poverty, which is now at 64%, will keep on rising. Honorable Speaker, the other thing is, counties have taken over the equalization fund as their projects that is funded through the equitable share. They have taken over the KFW, German Development Bank, projects, grants, all the conditional grants. They have now taken over as projects that are done by counties, forgetting that there is an equitable share which should be used to reduce the poverty index in these counties, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, if we are not going to be cautious, the issue about county governments will be another curse in this country. And so when we are speaking about Singapore, there are counties that will not get to Singapore within the time that is maybe allocated, because the leadership could be the wrong leadership in these counties, Honorable Speaker. Meaning, as time goes by, we will need to actually say if the BPS will even be able to give us an opportunity of paying pending bills from Nairobi instead of paying it from counties. I support, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Langata.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance. From the onset, I support the Division of Revenue Bill, more so looking at what has been happening in Nairobi, running a budget averagely a year of 40 billion, with almost 60% still being used for the personnel, and with a surging population in this county each and every single day. The infrastructure that this county still depend on is the infrastructure that was there, the colonial infrastructure. As we speak, Nairobi is going up the sky. That is, we are doing skyscrapers and all. Most of the houses that we have were made for single dwelling. So you find a house that maybe or was supposed to take care of maybe 5 or 6 people has been brought down and a skyscraper has been put up there. The same infrastructure cannot sustain that kind of a surge in that kind of population. As we speak, we are facing a very hard time with the drainage. We just recent floods that killed so many of our people. It's a very sad situation that the county itself cannot be able to hold with the revenue that they're having. That is why we again also support the collaboration that the national government and the county of Nairobi are having right now to just help in mitigating some of these issues that Nairobi County has not been able to put enough money on, like drainage, garbage collection. We are talking about housing, we are talking about water, and even health. So from the onset, I will say I support this bill, and the counties must also make sure that when more money is allocated to them, let the work be done. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Aseka, but before you take the floor, allow me to acknowledge St. Joseph Comprehensive School from Molo, Nakuru, in the public gallery, St. James Comprehensive School from Molo, Nakuru County, and Lady Anne Delamere Secondary School from Gilgil, Nakuru. Seka, hold it. Mother Wangari, I give you half a minute to welcome your school.
Thank you.
The rest on our behalf.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Allow me to just take this opportunity that you've given me to welcome all the students and learners and teachers who are visiting us. And also thank you and the clerk, Mr. Speaker, because the traffic has increased in our galleries, and that's what this parliament is supposed to do, to teach our younger generation. Mr. Speaker, this Lady Anne Delamere, as the name suggests, of course, was established by the Lady Anne, who was the wife of the Baron Delamere. And Mr. Speaker, it is a recent establishment in 2008, unlike the other colonial era schools. And Mr. Speaker, it's a public mixed school. We are just working on something with CDF to ensure that we make it a girls boarding school in the wider Baroque and the Gilgil constituency, Mr. Speaker. So I welcome them in this house, and we hope to see them, of course, after they leave the gallery, and also all the learners, Mr. Speaker, to learn 1 or 2 things from us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, and I join you on my behalf and on behalf of the House to welcome all the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to the House of Parliament. Aseka.
Thank you, Speaker.
Atande, get ready. Once Aseka is done, you will be called upon to reply.
I thank you, Speaker, for giving me this opportunity also to contribute to this Division of Revenue Bill that distributes revenues between 2 levels of government. So, Speaker, I confirm that the Budget and Appropriation Committee did a public participation on this bill, and issues raised by all stakeholders were put into consideration. We are dividing 2.4 trillion to national government, close to 9 billion to equalization fund, and about 420 billion to county governments. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, allow me to observe the following, that this bill will only be implementable if Treasury collects the 2.9 trillion. Mr. Speaker, as we speak today, Treasury has not been able to collect about 110 billion of this financial year budget. And this, Speaker, if it's not checked, it may create and increase the number of pending bills for our contractors across the country. Two, Mr. Speaker, we must also call upon KRA to be realistic in their revenue targets, so that whatever they target to collect, they tend to collect to the 100% or plus. Two, Mr. Speaker, for us to realize this bill and to be able to implement it well, Treasury must address the issue with the electronic government procurement system. And as you read the report of the Auditor General, Mr. Speaker, Auditor General says that this system has slowed down economic activities in the economy. This system has reduced the absorption of development funds. So, Mr. Speaker, as we do this, let us also put in mind that Treasury must also ensure that all challenges that are facing the EGP are addressed. Lastly, Speaker, the 2010 Constitution of Kenya on devolution really envisaged a devolution of economic activities within our counties. It not envisaged the devolution of corruption, devolution of employment bureaus, and devolution of creating small kings within our counties. Mr. Speaker, it is time to call our governors to order and ensure that the little resources that is being devolved to the counties is put to good use. My brother said that Turkana may be left behind on our journey to Singapore. I say those counties that are ready to go to Singapore should start moving. Thank you, Speaker.
Ndindi Nyoro, I'll give you the last.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for this chance to contribute. And on the onset, Honorable Speaker, for the several years and even now, we must start walking the talk when it comes to devolution. Because, Honorable Speaker, when we are reading a budget in the upwards of 4 trillion shillings, and it's moving, of course, at a higher percentage even than what we give to our counties, Honorable Speaker, we need an introspection in this matter, so that even as we demand more from our county governments, we do the same when it comes to allocation of resources. Because when you account for inflation, Honorable Speaker, the equitable share has not been growing. Even when we talk about from last financial year to this one, you realize that we are barely actually beating inflation when it comes to the allocation. And therefore it calls upon this House and also the Senate that we must be deliberate in our supporting our county governments, so that even as we ask for services and quality services from the county governments, Honorable Speaker, we need to do likewise in terms of allocation of resources to the devolved units. The second thing, Honorable Speaker, I want to highlight is that holistically and broadly, there are two important things that we must deliberate on and find a solution in terms of them. One is when it comes to ECDE teachers, Honorable Speaker. Across all our counties, I am sure, honorable members, you have come across this request. And I hope that progressively we'll have an overarching body that harmonizes all our ECDE teachers, Honorable Speaker, when it comes to negotiating for a better pay, but also when it comes to timely disbursement in terms of salaries, but more importantly, Honorable Speaker, even growth in that area. Honorable Speaker, I know this is much more broader than the current discussion today, but I'm just drawing this to all of us, that we must get a solution when it comes to this. ECD teachers needs a harmonizing body nationally, so that, Honorable Speaker, their jobs are more or less defined and cuts across all counties. The second thing, Honorable Speaker, is when it comes to health professionals, the doctors and all the professionals in the health sector, in our county governments, Honorable Speaker. Over time, we may need an overarching body like TSC that takes care of their welfare, Honorable Speaker, when it comes to promotions, when it comes to moving from this county to the other. I don't think primarily it's a very good thing that when you are hired in this county, Honorable Speaker, that for you to get to another county.
Your time is up. Atandi.
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity and also to thank members who have ventilated on this bill. Honorable Speaker, when I was moving the bill, as was presented. But some members of my party have castigated me for not talking about the 450 billion shillings which was discussed in many forums, including this morning when we had the Kenya Kwanza and ODM PG. I want to assure them that those agreements will somehow find their way into this bill before it is finally processed. I also want to say, Honorable Speaker, that I want to say that I go on record as a chairman who, during my tenure, county share allocations went up the highest. Honorable Speaker, in the DORA Act, which is in force, we were able to raise county share allocations by a whopping 29 billion. Honorable Speaker, this is the highest ever. So I think I need to be celebrated, Honorable Speaker, by members for that. And to challenge those people who are saying that we are not serious with devolution. Indeed, Honorable Speaker, you know we are very serious with devolution. And you know devolution was a creation of was an idea of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. And you know that even in the 10-point agenda, the 450 billion, which was drawn and agreed upon, was his idea. So we want to assure everybody that we are very, very serious about devolution, but we want also to challenge governors to do their part, especially in the way they utilize their resources. They need to use these resources effectively. Most members are saying that it is possible that when you go to counties, you will see projects being undertaken by national government through donors and conditional grants. But when you check with them on the county share by allocations, you hardly see projects. So this is a fact, Honorable Speaker, and this is something that happens in my county and most counties across the country. Even in my county, Honorable Speaker, you would find that there are so many national government projects, but you'll hardly find county government projects that are being undertaken. So these are things that we need to discuss as leaders and ensure that these monies are actually working for Kenyans. Honorable Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg to reply.
Thank you. Majority Leader, take your seat. Honorable members, I'll now put the question at order number 9, which is the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026. We now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the equitable division of revenue raised nationally between the national and county governments in the 2026 and 2027 financial year and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 10, Committee of the Whole House.
All rise.
Honorable members, we are now considering the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026.
Schedule.
Chairperson? I now propose the question that the schedule be in the schedule of the bill. Mover?
Honorable Chair, I move that the schedule to the bill be deleted and substituted therefore with the following new schedule. Allocation of revenue raised nationally between the national government and the county governments for the financial year 2026-2027. And one, Honorable Chair, this amendment relates to the equalization fund allocations, which has gone up to 10,250,573,107.05. It has gone up because, Honorable Chair, we are considering the recent audited revenues for the year 2022-2023, which is 2,550,114,740,913, as opposed to the previous consideration, which was based on the audited revenues for the financial year 2021-2022. Therefore, it goes up by that amount, Honorable Chair. All other figures remain the same. Thank you.
I now propose the question that the schedule be amended as proposed. I now put the question that the schedule be amended as proposed. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that the schedule as amended be the schedule of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 2, 3, and 4.
I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Okay, I'll take that again. I now propose the question that clause 2, clause 3, and clause 4, and clause 1. Okay, I'll repeat that. I propose the question that clause 2, 3, and 4 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 2, 3, and 4 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Title.
I now propose the question that the title be part of the bill. I now put the question that the title be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I now propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. The mover? You may move the reporting.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026, and its approval thereof with amendments.
I will now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now propose the question. So let me make the announcement first. We are now on the Committee of the Whole House for the Miscellaneous Fees and Levies Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 57 of 2025.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that Clause 2 be part of the bill. I now put the question that Clause 2 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 3.
I propose the question that Clause 3 be part of the bill. Mover? Okay, Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move. Do we start with the minor GKs? Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that Clause 3 be amended in paragraph C by inserting the following proposed new subsections immediately after the proposed subsection 4B. Honorable Speaker, the amendment is just to create a term of office in line with the Government-Owned Enterprises Act, so that the board that is appointed into this for this institution serves for a period of 3 years and is eligible for reappointment for a further and final term of 3 years, meaning that in line with the Government-Owned Enterprises Act as passed by this House, any board member other than the ex-officio, that is the CEO, members of the board, can only serve for a period of 3 years, which is only renewable once. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move.
I now propose the question that Clause 3 be amended as proposed. I now put the question I now put the question that Clause 3 be amended as proposed. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the... We need to go to the Chair Transport. Chairperson Transport, you have an amendment?
Yes. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that Clause 3 of the bill be amended in paragraph C by inserting the following new subsection immediately after the proposed new subsection 4B. That is, the functions of the board shall be to formulate the strategic direction of the fund, including strategic plans, investment plans, and policies, and B, set up administrative, governance, and financial management structures of the fund, and C, oversee the administration and management of the fund. D, coordinate the optimal utilization of the fund in implementing programs relating to the purpose for which the fund is established. And E, supervise the performance of the secretary to the board, officers, and staff of the fund. F, approve and review the annual work program and budget of the fund. And G, approve with the concurrence of the Cabinet Secretary the investment policy, investment plan, and risk threshold of the fund. And H, invest the funds of the board not immediately required for the purpose of this act in such a manner as it may determine. And D, perform any other function necessary to promote the objects and purpose of the fund. Honorable Speaker, these amendments seek to ensure clarity of mandate and strengthen accountability and promote effective and prudent administration of the fund in line with its objects and purpose. Honorable Speaker, number 2 amendments, inserting the word annually to the National Assembly immediately after the words at least once every 3 months in the proposed new subsection 4(1). The board, that it will read that the board shall submit to the Secretary and to the Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary responsible for matters relating to railway transport at least once every 3 months and annually to the National Assembly reports detailing the inflows, outflows, and balances of the accounts established pursuant to subsection 4G. Honorable Speaker, the reason for this is to ensure that the purpose of this amendment, Honorable Speaker, is to enhance transparency, strengthen parliamentary oversight, and promote accountability in the utilization of the fund. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
I now propose the question that clause 3 be further amended as proposed. I now put the question that clause 3 be further amended as proposed. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 3 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Title.
I propose the question that the title be part of the bill. I now put the question that the title be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I now propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Chairperson, move reporting.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the House do agree.
Hold on, Honorable Atandi.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Atandi is very keen to finish his division of revenue. So he wants to grab even this one. Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Miscellaneous Fees and Levies Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 57 of 2025, and its approval thereof with amendments.
I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Miscellaneous Fees and Levies Amendment Bill, process, National Assembly Bill number 57 of 2025. 2025? Yeah, will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Honorable members, we shall begin with the miscellaneous fees and levies amendment bill. Mover. No, chair to move, yes. Chair to report.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the miscellaneous fees and levies amendment bill, National Assembly Bill number 57 of 2025, and approved the same with amendments. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mover, thank you. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report, and I also request Honorable Naomi Wako to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Wako.
Honorable Speaker, I second. Thank you.
Honorable members, I therefore propose the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I put the question. Honorable members, I put the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as have a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the miscellaneous fees and levies amendment bill, National Assembly Bill number 57 of 2025, be now read a third time. Honorable Speaker, as I request the Honorable Fatuma Full Network to second because of her diligence in her work. Honorable Speaker, you may have noted Honorable Fatuma is one among us the chairs who diligently sit and patiently sit in the House waiting for her business. And because I know she has business that was due here last week when she excused herself to go for iftar, I hope today she will be able to at least move part of that business before it's time for iftar at, I think at 10 minutes to 7. Let me say, Honorable Speaker, first thank members for the support in the passage of this bill that will radically change the management of our railway system and railway network in this country. We have now provided a framework that will enable us as a country to develop our rail infrastructure far beyond the SGR that initially RDLF was being used to maintain and also construct. That now RDLF can be used in the construction of even the metric gauge railway. We can see the development of light rail in this country, Honorable Speaker. And I look forward, together with the National Infrastructure Fund, these two funds being utilized, not only to extend the SGR beyond Suswa or Dukamoja, to Malaba, to Kisumu, to connect us with our neighboring countries, but also the development of a light rail system within the city of Nairobi. You saw last week, Honorable Speaker, what happened when it rained on Friday. The number of people who are getting home at 2, 3 a.m. because of traffic congestion. But if we had a light rail system within the city, we wouldn't even need to have the many cars that we've seen coming into the city. And I look forward to the implementation of this bill upon its passage, because it will radically change how we manage our rail network system. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to move and request the Honorable Fatuma Full Network, member for Migori County, to second.
Member for Migori, the very diligent one. I do not oppose that statement. Honorable Fatuma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to second.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the miscellaneous fees and levies amendment bill, National Assembly Bill number 57 of 2025, be now read a third time.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I want to take the cue from my leader, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, who has passed the most fundamental bills in this parliament. I think most consequential bills in the life of this country have been moved in the 13th parliament, and they have always borne the name of Kimani Ichung'wah. And I think we need to congratulate the leader. But having said that, I want to take the cue from him that he's talking about taking the railway to the other side, connect Uganda. But I also want to use these funds
to take the railway from Mombasa to Mtwapa, to Vipingo, the new Vipingo city, to Kilifi, to Malindi, to Lamu, and connect it to Garissa, Isiolo, and the other side, Honorable Speaker, to Lokicha and go to Somalia and Ethiopia, Honorable Speaker, so that the Lapsset corridor can also have a railway. And I think that will be a fundamental development, because where there is a railway station, the town grows and thrives. And I think that is the spirit that we need to take this railway, so that it doesn't go to the other side alone, but also we take it to the other side. And I'll be glad to witness that during the reign of William Samoei Ruto. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Owen Bayer. Honorable members, I therefore put the question, which is that the Miscellaneous Fees and Levies Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 57 of 2025, be now read a third time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Miscellaneous Fees and Levies Act and for connected purposes.
Chairperson to report to the House.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026, and approved the same with amendments.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report, and also request the Honorable Mukunji, member for Manyata, to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Member for Manyata.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And as I second this motion, Honorable Speaker, it's good that I say we do share revenue in this House. And it's also good to say, Honorable Speaker, that we also need to increase and improve the oversight of the divided revenue, Honorable Speaker, into counties. Honorable Speaker, I say this knowing very well that there has been an uproar from the governors, Honorable Speaker, claiming that they don't want to be oversighted and they don't want to be, Honorable Speaker, asked questions. And at one point, Honorable Speaker, I saw my governor apologizing for diverting 10 million Kenyan shillings, Honorable Speaker, in the Senate. So as I second this motion, Honorable Speaker, I call upon this House to see to it that revenue that has been put and given to counties is well used, well utilized, and also, Honorable Speaker, that the people, our people in those counties do feel that the money is working for them because it is our well and hard-earned taxes, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, lastly, it's good also to say that we have had a very challenging year because of the new system of procurement. And, Honorable Speaker, I still wonder how much of our revenue this year that we passed with the budget of last year that has been utilized or absorbed in the various ministries due to the gridlock in the EGP procurement program, Honorable Speaker. And, Honorable Speaker, especially many of the counties are lagging behind in their usage of the revenue, and it is something that this House need to put into consideration. Honorable Speaker, I second.
Honorable members, I therefore propose a question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover to move third reading.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that Division of Revenue Bill 2026, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026 be now read a third time. Honorable Speaker, I just wanted to make one remark that in the previous division of revenue bills, there has always been a clause that in case of revenue shortages, that the shortages will be borne by national government and not county governments. I want to tell members that in this bill, that clause has been removed. And that going forward, if there is revenue shortages, all of us will bear the shortfalls. This is to ensure that we all, because national government has suffered in the process, and it has led us to, increase physical space to be able to accommodate those shortages. So this is something which I wanted the members to know. And lastly, I want to reiterate that the broad-based government is in full support of devolution. And you can see by the many engagements that we have had, including this morning when the Kenya Kwanza and ODM PG took place at KICC, and most of the members who are there, the resolutions that came out of that meeting. We are very sure that those resolutions shall not go in vain, and that somehow we will be able to adjust figures appropriately. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and request the Honorable Mashako to second.
Thank you, Chair. I stand to second the bill as proposed by the mover. Thank you.
Honorable Mwashako, did you second the bill?
Can I retake it, Madam Speaker?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand to second.
Thank you. Honorable members, I therefore propose the question that the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026, be now read a third time. Honorable members, I therefore put the question, which is that the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026, be now read a third time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the equitable division of revenue raised nationally between the national and county governments in the 2026-2027 financial year and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 11, motion, report of the audited accounts for the Judiciary Mortgage Scheme Fund for the financial years 2011, 2012 to 2021/2022.
Honorable members, Chairperson, Special Funds Accounts Committee, as you move, I realize you have two. For the reason that had been raised by the majority leader, you will move them back to back. You'll prosecute both Order 11 and 13, then we'll go back to Order 12.
Thank you for that consideration, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Special Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the audited accounts for the Judiciary Mortgage Scheme Fund for the financial year 2011-2012 to 2021-2022, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 5th August 2025. Honorable Speaker, in preparing this report, the committee relied on the Constitutional and Legal Provision on Public Finance Management Act 2012 and other enabling legislation as the basis for inviting the accounting officer of the Judiciary Mortgage Scheme Fund to respond to issues raised by the Auditor General, as well as the additional information submitted on the administration performance. Honorable Speaker, following the examination of the audited reports, the committee made the following general observation and recommendations which apply across the 11 financial years under review. The fund failed to disclose the scheme administrator expenses and charges for 11 financial year, contrary to the regulations 101/4 of the national government PFM regulations. The committee recommended that within 3 months of the adoption of this report, the accounting officer should submit duly certified loan disbursement and repayment scheme for the Auditor General for audit verification. The committee observed that there was no disclosure of interest earned on mortgage and disbursement. Honorable Speaker, we realized that the mortgage fund that the institution was running, they needed to follow at least some of the regulations and borrow from other institutions that do have the same fund. We realize that the interest that they earn, they do not even know how much they've earned as they leave the interest with the bank that is doing disbursing the loan on their behalf. The committee observed that the fund financial statement for each financial year were not submitted to the Auditor General within the statutory timelines following the closure of the respective financial years. The accounting officer was therefore found to be in breach of Section 68, 2K of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. The committee recommended that the accounting officer ensures timely submission of the accounting records and documentation required to audit verification in strict compliance with the Section 31/4 of the Public Audit Act 2015. The judiciary mortgage scheme lacks enabling legislation establishing the fund and has been operating without governing regulations. Consequently, the fund legality, official designation, and operational framework could not be confirmed. And on that note, the committee recommends that within 6 months of the adoption of this report, the accounting officer develop and operationalize appropriate regulations for the fund and submit the same to the Auditor General for audit verification. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, I wish to register my appreciation to the honorable members of the committee, the Office of the Speaker, and the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly, parliamentary liaison officers of the Auditor General, and the Committee Secretariat for facilitating the work of the committee and making the production of this report possible. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and now request Honorable Kivasu, who is a member of our committee, to second the motion. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Kivasu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion that this House adopts the report of the Special Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the audited accounts of the Judiciary Mortgage Scheme Fund for the financial years 2011-2012 to 2021/2022. The committee's examination of the Auditor General's reports over the 11-year period provides this House with an opportunity to strengthen oversight and ensure that public resources are properly safeguarded. Honorable Speaker, the committee realized the Judiciary Mortgage Scheme Fund, in line with the submissions of financial statements, did not submit their financial statements on time, contrary to Public Finance Management Act 68, subclause 2K. Honorable Speaker, in reviewing the Auditor General's findings, the committee observed several weaknesses in the financial management of the fund that persisted over the years under review. For instance, the financial statements did not adequately disclose certain expenses associated with the administration of the scheme, including commission and bank-related charges incurred by the scheme administrator. In addition, the loan disbursement and repayment records submitted during the audit process were not properly certified, which made it difficult for the Auditor General to verify the completeness and accuracy of the transactions recorded by the fund. Finally, Honorable Speaker, the committee noted that the Judiciary Mortgage Scheme has been operating without a comprehensive and enabling legislative framework, relying largely on administrative arrangements. Without a clear legal and regulatory structure, the oversight, accountability, and operational clarity of the fund remain limited. It is therefore imperative that appropriate regulations and policy frameworks be developed to anchor the fund within the broader public finance management system and ensure its proper governance going forward. Honorable Speaker, with those remarks, I beg to second.
Honorable members, I therefore propose the question that this House adopts the report of the Special Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the audited accounts for the Judiciary Mortgage Scheme Fund for the financial years 2011-2012 to 2021-2022, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 5th August 2025. Honorable members, there are many members indicated on the screen. I'm not sure whether it's for this. Honorable member for Kaiti, are you in the House? Jerry Maina? Honorable Lotte, are you on this? Honorable members, for order and good order, can we indicate through the intervention if you're willing to speak on this? Member Honorable Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the debate on this report. And Honorable Speaker, I just want to thank the Chair and her committee for actually bringing this report to the floor of the House. Because, Honorable Speaker, just looking at the issues that have been raised by the committee and what has been observed, it is quite clear that this particular fund is not being properly managed and that it needs a bit more scrutiny. Because, Honorable Speaker, it doesn't make sense why judiciary has allowed for their mortgage scheme fund to go into a bank. Because already the mortgages that the judiciary members are undertaking is already subjected to interest. Then now when this particular fund is again deposited into a bank, again, there's interest that is accrued to it. Honorable Speaker, that speaks to the accounting language of double interest on the same particular fund. So, Honorable Speaker, this is one issue, and I really wish that the committee can even delve further into the reports for the current financial years, because if this was happening in the financial year of 2021-2022, it means that it is probably the same scenario at this particular moment, that it is ongoing. And so if we are able to actually identify this as an issue, I'm just wondering about the subsequent financial years that the committee has not even been able to go to. And this particular one is a very serious matter. And so, Honorable Speaker, for me, my contribution to this particular one is that I think the judiciary mortgage scheme and the accounting officer for the judiciary needs to actually undertake this and review how they are actually managing this fund if they want it to have prosperity and for it to be able to assist the members. With those few remarks, I support the report from the committee. I thank you.
Very well. Member for Kitui Central, Honorable Makali.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you can say I had to relocate from my desk. I don't know what has happened to my system. Somebody came there and I did funny things and I can't access the system.
Now I can see you.
But I want to thank you for this opportunity and thank the Committee on Special Programs, Honorable Speaker, for this report on the judiciary mortgage scheme. I've listened to the chair of the committee moving the report and the seconding by Honorable Kipasu, Honorable Speaker. It raised quite some fundamental issues, and more so issues to do with accountability, Honorable Speaker. I got a bit surprised when Honorable Kipasu was saying that we need more law in terms of regulations and all that. And I was asking myself, Honorable Speaker, whether this country is short of laws governing public finances. Honorable Speaker, if you look at our Constitution, it is a whole chapter 12 of our Constitution, talks about public finances. And it provides a very broad framework in terms of what needs to be done when you're handling public resources. To put more emphasis on that, Honorable Speaker, we have a whole law called Public Finance and Management Act, which has been revised many times. And that law provides much more details than the Constitution on how to manage public resources. And then to make things worse, Honorable Speaker, we have Public Finance Management Act regulations, Honorable Speaker. So these three pieces of legislation, Honorable Speaker, provide very detailed framework on how to use public resources. So I can say authoritatively, Honorable Speaker, that we don't have shortage of law. What we have is lack of enforcement of law. And at times, Honorable Speaker, this is deliberate. Accounting officers have taken these public resources as their own pocket money, Honorable Speaker. And when it comes to using these resources, they forget that they should adhere to the law as it is written, Honorable Speaker. So, all these issues being raised by this report, Honorable Speaker, are issues which, to me, from where I stand, I can say it's just deliberate that accounting officers want to take advantage and as a result misuse these resources.
You put such resources into a bank account, Honorable Speaker, and some of these private banks is where we would expect things to be done correctly, Honorable Speaker. But when we listen to the gaps being explained here, it shows really we need to do something. And what worries me most is what my chair, regional integration, has mentioned, Honorable Speaker. We are looking at a report of about 21, 22, Honorable Speaker. Now, imagine that problem has persisted for up to date. And more likely, it has not been captured, Honorable Speaker. So we've not addressed the challenge. And I think really, even as we look at some of these audit reports coming from our committees, I think it's important, Honorable Speaker, we look at what can we do to some extent stop this continuous misapplication, misuse of public resources. Because we can't be a country where we claim we have not enough money and we are borrowing left and right from everywhere, and the little money we get, which is our own money from our taxes, Honorable Speaker, and Kenyans have been very faithful to pay taxes, that amount where our people are paying taxes, that we cannot manage. The Constitution is very clear. We need prudent management of public resources, Honorable Speaker. So this kind of reports, Honorable Speaker, I think as a House, we need to move to the next level. The sanctions, Honorable Speaker. We need to start talking about what sanctions can we impose on some of these accounting officers who misapply these resources, so that as we move to the future, Honorable Speaker, people will know that when you misapply or misuse public resources, you will be punished for whatever you do, Honorable Speaker. And if we go that direction, Honorable Speaker, then we'll start getting better audit reports from our committees, and our committees will be taken seriously. Otherwise, majority of the people now, majority of the Kenyans, think that these reports are just a talk show. We come here to talk about them, we go home, all smiling, we have talked about them. Nothing is done, Honorable Speaker. It is time this House proves to Kenyans that we have truth and we can bite, Honorable Speaker. With those remarks, I support.
Member for Manyata.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we have discussed many audit reports here, Honorable Speaker, and one thing that is consistent, Honorable Speaker, is the backlog of the audit reports. Today we are discussing and receiving a report of the audit report for 2020, 2011, 2012, Honorable Speaker, 2021, 2022. Honorable Speaker, that tells you that even if the committee finds issues with the audit report, you will find mostly that even the officers that were in charge, most likely, have already left those institutions, or Honorable Speaker, they will look like it's a simple witch hunt. Honorable Speaker, this begs the question, why are we lagging behind, Honorable Speaker, on audit? And Honorable Speaker, I look at this and also look at the other side of the private sector. And as we say, there is a lot of bureaucracy in government, but we need to realize that we are handling public fund. Honorable Speaker, I beg to say that, as a matter of fact, private institutions that present their audits every year, and it's required in everything that these institutions are doing, are run better, and it is supposed to be the reverse. Public funds, Honorable Speaker, are supposed to be audited and keenly audited, as a matter of fact, quarterly. And they are supposed to be getting, we are supposed to be getting reports, Honorable Speaker, in this House in time. And if I look at this trend of audit reports, it means that, Honorable Speaker, in 2030, it is when the audit reports of 2025 are going to be tabled in this House. Honorable Speaker, I call upon this House to see what best way we can do to ensure that audit reports are up to date and they make impact. Honorable Speaker, we wake up every day to questions in the use of our public funds. Today, as we are speaking, Honorable Speaker, there is a newspaper article screaming, Honorable Speaker, of loss of close to 50 billion Kenya shillings in our healthcare insurance system, SHA, Honorable Speaker. And there's nothing more painful, Honorable Speaker, than reading a newspaper article that says money that has been contributed by people who want to get better health care, Honorable Speaker, has been misappropriated. And I want to actually say, Honorable Speaker, the only way to avoid and ensure that these people don't enrich themselves and go away with what we have seen, Honorable Speaker, is updated, timely audit reports. So that, Honorable Speaker, we get to actually put people into account, ensure that people go to jail if they have misused resources, and, Honorable Speaker, that public resources are used well. We have increased taxes, Honorable Speaker. In this regime, taxes have been increased. We have borrowed excessively, Honorable Speaker. The public demands that those resources must be well used. And this House has a role to play to ensure that audit reports are not just mere reports that will just go to shelves of this House and nothing happens afterwards. Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Honorable Mwashako, I see you beckoning, but I don't see you here in the system. Are you intending to speak on this? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving an opportunity to support the report, the audit report from the Committee of Special Funds. Honorable Speaker, I want to share, I share the sentiments of my colleagues that judiciary, I want to believe they can do better. Having a mortgage scheme that is solely to support the staff of our able judiciary, we do not expect that judiciary should abdicate their duty and give this fund to a commercial bank, Honorable Speaker. I hear and I read the report, it's clear that judiciary have chosen not to manage this fund themselves. They have chosen to give it to a bank. And we know, Honorable Speaker, commercial banks in this country exist to make money. And when we came up with this fund, Honorable Speaker, it is purely for the benefit of our staff who works for judiciary. And this is similar to what happens in Parliament. We have a parliamentary mortgage scheme that is managed purely by Parliamentary Service Commission, Honorable Speaker. So I don't see why judiciary, as it's constituted, to abdicate their role, give the fund to a bank. A bank charges, I'm told it says about 3% of administrative and management fee. You can imagine, Honorable Speaker, that denies the fund growth. Because normally when you offer these loans to staff and they pay on interest, the interest is supposed to make sure the fund grows for sustainability. And now when you give it to a bank, what happens is the bank will make money and then the fund will remain stagnant. As for in case there is any default, Honorable Speaker, then the fund will not be sustainable, Honorable Speaker. So I want to call upon this committee that oversights this fund to call judiciary accounting officers to order. They must renegotiate what they have with the bank, return this fund to be managed by judiciary itself, Honorable Speaker. Second, Honorable Speaker, this country we have a number of funds that is until last Parliament under J.B. Muturi's tenure as Speaker is when this Committee of Special Funds was created. Previously, there was no audit of any special fund in the country. So many parastatals, many organizations, many state-owned enterprises created special funds, Honorable Speaker, to, I don't want to use the word siphon and misappropriate funds, Honorable Speaker, but it was a silent agreement that they created a special fund, and then corruption was part and parcel of the objective of those funds, Honorable Speaker. But today, Honorable Speaker, this special fund is doing a commendable job. And it looks like it is behind schedule. Because like today we are looking at audited accounts from 2011 2011-2012 financial year to 2021-2022 financial year, Honorable Speaker. That's about in excess of 10 years. It looks like we are behind schedule as Parliament, as Special Funds Committee. But this is because that previous years there was no committee that was oversighting these funds. The Auditor General was not able to look at the books of these special funds. But today we want to laud that decision that was made in the last Parliament and laud the committee that is chaired by our sister Honorable Full Network, that we can be able to know what happens in these funds. And as I said, Honorable Speaker, it is painful that funds that are intended to support staff, are intended to support growth of staff welfare, sometimes they get misappropriated. You hear, and I read this report, and it indicates very clearly that the accounting officer did not, it seems like did not cooperate with the auditor, because every document that was required, a fraction was provided. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, we must, as a country, we must put more, we must put more effort to increase our oversight, but at the same time to take auditors' reports extremely serious, so that then we can get value of the money that we pay as taxes, and every shilling that has been planned to go towards enabling either, every sector of our economy. Let us find value for the shilling that we put in. So, Honorable Speaker, I support this report, and I beg to request that this committee continue doing a good job. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Passaris, not on this. Honorable members, I do not see more interest in this, so I'll ask the mover to reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to appreciate all honorable members who took their time to contribute and help us understand how we should do it better. And I hope that the Judiciary Fund are also looking into our comments here, and the comments that we made, the observations that we made, I believe that the Implementation Committee will follow them up so that the fund grows better than it is now. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
You beg to reply.
I beg to reply, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable members, we shall defer the putting of the question on this. As directed earlier, the next order should go to order number 13.
Order number 13, motion, report on the audited accounts for the Commodities Fund for the financial years 2018-19 to 2021-2022.
Chairperson, Special Funds.
Thank you once more, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopt the 5th report of the Special Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the report of the audited financial statement for Commodity Fund for the financial year 2018-2019, 2019-2020, 2020-2021, 2021-2022, laid on the table of this House on Thursday, 7th December 2023. Honorable Speaker, while auditing these accounts, the Commodities Fund, the committee received oral and written submission from Ms. Nancy Cheriot, Managing Trustee for Commodities Fund, regarding the audited financial statement for the financial years 2018, 2019, 2021, 2022. The committee also held meetings with the Principal Secretary, State Department for Crop Development, and Managing Director of Agricultural Finance Corporation regarding the audit query on uncovered funds transferred to the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development from the Commodities Fund, and the audit query raised in the financial year 2019-2020 regarding unreconciled inter-fund transaction. The submission formed the basis of the committee's observation, finding, and recommendations. Honorable Speaker, in preparing this report, the committee relied on the constitutional and legal provision of Public Finance Management Act 2012 and other enabling legislation as the basis for inviting the Accounting Officer of Commodity Fund to respond to issues raised by the Auditor General. Following the examination of the audited report, the committee made the following observations and recommendations which apply across the 4 years. The fund inherited non-performing loans from the Agriculture and Food Authority, and the Sugar Board and the Coffee Development Fund, including principal and interest arrears. Despite recovery efforts, the loans remain unrecovered due to the nature of the guarantees. The committee recommends that the accounting officer seek authority under Section 69 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 to write off the inherited non-performing debts and accrued interest and provide a progress report on the status of the write-off process. Honorable Speaker, in all these years, we realized that the questions kept on coming as this was not dealt with. So if they can be helped to find a way of writing it off, as the committee has recommended, so that we don't waste a lot of time in every financial year, the same issue reoccurs. The fund had not established a body corporate which perpetual succession and common seal, limiting its liability to sue or be sued. Moreover, the Cropped Act 2013 of number 13 of 2013, which established the fund, does not clearly define the mandate, powers, and responsibility of the fund's board of the trustees, affecting its independence and operational effectiveness. In that regard, Honorable Speaker, if we have a board that is toothless, then there's no need of having the board, because they cannot make any recommendation, they cannot make any decision, and anything that they would say would be null and void, because they are toothless. So we, as the committee, recommended that the accounting officer, through the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development, prepare and submit a statutory instruments to the National Assembly to address these legal and statutory gaps. The committee noted that the State Department for Crop Development, the Commodities Fund, the Agriculture Finance Corporation, and Agriculture Food Authority, AFA, had unreconciled balances which had since been reconciled. The parties were currently working on repayment modalities for the outstanding principal and interest. Honorable Speaker, the committee recommends that the Principal Secretary, State Department for Crop Development, refunds 40 million to the Commodities Fund within the financial year 2023-2024. Honorable Speaker, this one we will recommend highly that the implementation committee looks into it, because 40 million for such a small fund, if they are not paid, for sure this fund will not continue. It will definitely flop. And this debt has been there for quite a long time. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I wish to register my appreciation to the honorable members of the committee, the officers of the Speaker and the Clerk of the National Assembly, the parliamentary liaison officers and the Auditor General, and the Committee Secretariat for facilitating the work of the committee and making the production of this report possible. Honorable Speaker, I must highly appreciate my committee members. In fact, in our committee, Honorable Speaker, we have never lacked quorum since I became a chair. We are a committee of 15 members. At least we normally have 13 to 12 members present at every sitting. And we have never adjourned due to lack of quorum. So I must appreciate my committee members. And Honorable Speaker, may I bring it to your attention that my committee has 8 women. Now that tells you why we always have quorum. And the chair of the committee is a woman. And the chair of a committee is a first-timer. Honorable Speaker, women can do it. We have done it.
What is out of order, Honorable Mark Mwenje?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I didn't want to interrupt the chair, but is it in order for her to try and imply that the only time you can have quorum is if you have women? Is she implying
Honorable
that
Mwenje,
men do not attend committees?
Honorable Mwenje,
can she withdraw that remark,
Honorable
Honorable
Mwenje,
Speaker?
Honorable Fatuma has stated facts. Unless you have contrary, unless you have a committee that has more men and has greater quorum, then I don't see what is out of order. Honorable Fatuma.
Honorable Mwenje, it is a reality. Honorable Speaker, just throw your eyes around. How many women are in this house right now? Women can do it better. Bottom line is, we are all members of parliament, and I congratulate all the members who are present in this house. I congratulate my committee for making our work easy, and I beg to request Honorable Kivasu to second. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Kivasu is amongst the minority in your committee. Member for
Honorable
Mboni.
Speaker, I'm one of the men who are usually present out of the 7 in the Special Fund Accounts Committee. So we are proud that we are led by a lady and we are always there to support her. Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion that this House adopts the 5th report of the Special Fund Accounts Committee on its consideration of the Auditor General's report on the financial statements for the Commodities Fund for the years 2018, 2019 to 2021, 2022. The Commodities Fund plays a significant role in supporting the agricultural sector by providing credit facilities to farmers for farm inputs, farm improvements, agricultural infrastructure, and value addition. The effective management of such a fund is therefore critical to ensuring that farmers have access to affordable financing while safeguarding public resources entrusted to the fund. Honorable Speaker, the committee's review of the Auditor General's reports reviewed notable weaknesses in the management and reconciliation of loan transactions within the fund. For instance, the committee noted a significant discrepancy between the loan repayments recorded in the system and the amounts actually deposited into the bank accounts. Madam Speaker, this led to some confusion as to whether they are really using a computer system, because when a computer system is usually used, then you expect to get right information, although we say garbage in, garbage out. So I hope they have not been putting in garbage. But, Honorable Speaker, the committee also noted challenges relating to unidentified receipts and long outstanding loan balances. Some receipts deposited into the fund's accounts could not be linked to specific farmers or loan accounts. That again causing a problem whether they are using a computer system or manual systems, indicating weaknesses in record keeping and financial monitoring systems. This committee further observed that some loan records that had remained unresolved for several years without adequate explanations or corrective measures. Such gaps in financial management reduce the reliability of financial statements and undermine confidence in the administration of the fund. Finally, Honorable Speaker, the committee observed various financial management challenges affecting the performance of the fund, such as significant revenue shortfalls and substantial over-expenditure resulting largely from provisions made for bad and doubtful loans. Such trends highlight the need for stronger financial planning, prudent lending practices, and effective recovery mechanisms to protect public resources while ensuring that the fund continues to serve its intended purpose of supporting agricultural development. I therefore urge this House to adopt this report of the committee so as to strengthen accountability, transparency, and sustainability in the management of the Commodities Fund. Honorable Speaker, with those remarks, I beg to second.
Honorable members, I therefore propose the question that this House adopts the 5th report of the Special Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the report of the audited financial statements for the Commodities Fund for the financial years 2018-2019, 2019-2020, 2020-2021, and 2021-2022, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 7th December 2023. Honorable Passaris, not on this. Honorable Dr. Makali Mulu.
You know, Honorable Speaker, the more you listen to these reports, Honorable Speaker, the more you listen to these reports, the more you get annoyed as a Kenyan. Because, Honorable Speaker, when you look at this commodity fund and the objective of this fund, this is a very important fund to this country because it's supposed to be assisting our farmers access farm inputs and get resources which they can use to improve their farming activities, Honorable Speaker. But unfortunately, when you look at when you listen to the report of the Auditor General and the report of our special committee, Honorable Speaker, for consecutive 4 years, there are cross-cutting challenges relating to this commodity fund. And at times, when you listen at the challenges, Honorable Speaker, that issues like receipts could not be filed properly. Issues like doubtful debts could not be recorded properly, Honorable Speaker. You ask yourself, is it that they have not hired accountants? Is it that they have no financial experts? Or is it that somebody has buried his or her head in the sand to allow this to happen? And the latter, to me, is what is more likely. That people have deliberately taken a decision that we are not going to be accountable. And Honorable Speaker, I do sit in the Budget Committee. And this country have created a number of funds. And you'll be surprised, Honorable Speaker, for the last 2 years, almost all the funds we have created have issues and more accountability issues. If you look at the Hustler Fund, the other day, 12 billion cannot be accounted, cannot be recovered. Look at the Women Fund, challenges. Look at the Waste Fund, challenges. Look at the National Youth Fund, challenges. Now this is another one called Commodity Fund, challenges. Just immediately now we have discussed the mortgage fund for the judicial, challenges. Is it time we said enough is enough with these funds, and we allowed people to use money from using the general budgeting process, Honorable Speaker? Because it looks like we are creating these funds as a special purpose vehicle to serve some very specific objective, but at the end of the day, they become vehicles for siphoning off public resources and misapplication of resources. So, Honorable Speaker, as I've said many times, I think as a country we must make a serious decision. We must take a very serious decision. Either we use public resources as anticipated in our constitution, or we have free for all, and then we say let every Kenyan take a share of the public resources, we go home and forget about a country called Kenya. So to me, these reports, when they come to this house, they make some of us very annoyed who have financial background, because we see serious carelessness in terms of managing public resources. How I wish we could change. So I want to repeat what I said earlier, Honorable Speaker. This house must come up with a very clear framework on how to sanction accounting officers who are not able to account for public resources. I support.
Member for Kaiti, Honorable Kimilu. You're not in the house. Honorable Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this report. And once again, to thank the very diligent chair, the Honorable Fatuma Full Network, my sister, for the good work that she's doing with this committee, and to tell her to keep doing the good work. Honorable Speaker, looking at this particular fund, the Commodities Fund, it's actually very sad, some of the observations that the committee was able to make. One of them being that the fund inherited non-performing loans from the Agriculture and Food Authority, the defunct Sugar Board, and the Coffee Development Fund, and including principals and interest arrears. This means, Honorable Speaker, that this is a fund that is already experiencing so many problems, and then they have more load added onto it that they can't even manage. Honorable Speaker, there's also the issue where they are owed arrears from the Department for Crop Development, 40 million shillings. And it is said here that the Commodity Fund should actually have realized this money within the financial year of 2023-2024. And we are in financial year 2025-2026, meaning that this has not even been done yet. And Honorable Speaker, even with the issues that this particular fund is experiencing, and then you add on to the fact that they have arrears, they have adopted funds that are not even working, non-performing loans. Honorable Speaker, this is an issue that is very grave. And I just want to commend the committee, because I can see the committee has made recommendations that should ideally be resolved as soon as possible. But the question is, how realistic is this again? Because again, Honorable Speaker, when you look at this particular report, we are looking at a report for a couple of financial years ago. We've not even gone into the ones that are current. So it means that probably if they don't already have more issues that have piled up to the ones that they already have, this is a fund that ideally is operating on an environment where they are just being helped by the grace of God, literally. Because the issues that they have are too many. And I really empathize with the committee because then they have to be one of the solution providers and recommenders of solutions that can actually work with them. And I just want to urge the committee to just keep up with the good work and see if they can actually try and catch up with the current financial years for them to be able to actually enhance or establish whether or not that the issues that they're raising now are issues that are still ongoing or that there are more additional problems that have been incurred by this particular fund, and what it is that they can do to actually have a blanket solution for all these particular issues. With those few remarks, I support and I submit. I thank you.
Honorable Gitonga, John.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, Commodities Fund is a very familiar term in my constituency. Honorable Speaker, many of my factories, coffee factories, have always had debt, Honorable Speaker, from Commodities Fund. Honorable Speaker, the establishment of this fund that was done in the year 2013 under the Crops Act, 2013, the 11th Parliament, and I believe the 11th Parliament has passed quite consequential laws, Honorable Speaker, that requires a review and strengthening by this Parliament. And Honorable Speaker, one of the most progressive idea was the Commodities Fund under the Crops Act of 2013. And one of the reasons why I say that is because one of the promises that was made by this regime, Honorable Speaker, was something we call guaranteed minimum return on, Honorable Speaker, our produce. And Honorable Speaker, one of the reasons why this government might be chased away in 2027 is because of lack of achievement of this, Honorable Speaker. This Commodities Fund, one of its mandate was to do something called price stabilization, which is basically a guaranteed minimum return on investment. And Honorable Speaker, I had a case in the constituency where a factory that doesn't even have much of its assets, Honorable Speaker, having borrowed 60 million Kenya shillings. And that money had disappeared in the thin air, Honorable Speaker. And as we are speaking here, we have passed 2 billion Kenya shillings last year to actually clear the debt that was borrowed by many coffee factories, Honorable Speaker, under the Commodities Fund. Honorable Speaker, what does this say? Today, we are here auditing, receiving the report of the year 2022 from 2018. And Honorable Speaker, it tells you this same Commodities Fund that we have given 6 billion Kenya shillings in the year 2023, most probably, and maybe our chair might be even have advanced out of this house when we'll be auditing the 6 billion that we give this fund in the year 2023. It tells you that, Honorable Speaker, there is a need to relook the Crop Act and see how we can make sure that there is more stringent measures to ensure we don't lose, Honorable Speaker, these hard-earned taxes of our people, Honorable Speaker. And at the same time, Honorable Speaker,
ensure that we strengthen our farming and our produce moving forward. Honorable Speaker, I also want to take toll to what one of the honorable members has said. We have so many funds, and even as early as yesterday, Honorable Speaker, we were signing another fund, infrastructure fund, Honorable Speaker. And it is sad that we are discussing here, and I've heard Chair say clearly that there is a need for the PS to refund 40 million Kenya shillings. And she has said she's not joking with that. Today, we have passed so many funds and others have been ignored, Honorable Speaker. When we talk of Hustlers Fund, and I'm yet to hear the chair talk about Hustlers Fund and its audit report, because I know we are going to explode in this house when that report comes here. The fact of the matter is that this house must put his foot down, Honorable Speaker, when it comes to auditing of this fund. That's the only way. I would be shocked to hear the 3 trillion that might come through in the infrastructure fund have been misused, Honorable Speaker, and it is audited when this house has actually gone beyond even 5 years. So it tells you there is no action that is going to be taken to the culprits of misuse of our resources. Honorable Speaker, the same taxpayer that we put and give them power to when we form these funds are the same ones that suffer when these resources are not returned back. And that is a question that this house need to ask. We need to ask. Why would we continue bailing out factories of coffee when some funds that were given to some people who are chairmen and leaders of these institutions have misused? Some might have even used these funds to run for political seats, and they become untouchable. Honorable Speaker, as we appreciate the chair and our team of ladies for making quorum, Honorable Speaker, and one man, Honorable Speaker, I just want to say that we need more from your committee. You have a lot to work on to ensure that you are at par with what we are giving as resources in taxes, Honorable Speaker. And, Honorable Speaker, this House must also relook the Crop Act to see if we can be able to ensure these funds are well secured and are well paid and in time, Honorable Speaker, so that we don't continue losing resources. And as I say and I repeat, that implementation of guaranteed minimum return on things such as tea, coffee, macadamia, Honorable Speaker, is something that is going to determine if this regime is going to be thrown out in 2027. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Very well. Honorable Member for Embakasi West, makwiny.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. From the onset, let me congratulate the chair and also reiterate, Honorable Speaker, that I also sit in a committee where there are only 2 ladies and 13 men, and we've never lacked quorum. So you can be sure that the 2 women, while they give us quorum, they must have men in that committee to get quorum. Honorable Speaker, like so many other funds, I want to join the Honorable Makali, as he mentioned. There are so many funds in this country, you know. We have the Wezo Fund, Women Fund, and now we have the Commodities Fund. And these funds play a very vital role in our country. Now, this is a fund that is, as explained, assists with agricultural inputs of various kinds, which are of help to our farmers. Honorable Speaker, one of the main issues you'll notice is that food security in our country, unlike our neighbor on the western side, Uganda, their food security is much better than ours. So this is a vital fund. It can help us. We know that there is fertilizer, whether it's subsidized. There are times the costs are a bit high, and this is what can assist. Honorable Speaker, like all these other funds, like Uwezo Fund, we have an issue with the funds that are made available during the budget cycle. And more importantly, these loans, even how they are managed, both for Uwezo, both for Women Fund, they are facing the same challenges. How do we collect on these loans? How do we ensure that these resources are not lost? That is the key issue that the Auditor General needs to advise us on. Honorable Speaker, one of the things that I would request the chair to even to put to the Auditor General is that we need to know more on these safeguarding measures that the Auditor General would recommend to us, that even if we need to change the laws that apply to all these funds, we're able to do it in a